I got it roll with the water with the gun in the floor, and I put you in the last year. They told me of the glitching in the glorious pitch. They told me I had nothing to fear. My cologne was ready, he was pretty fucking heavy, and I thought he would do the trick. So I sent him on the road, and I told him about the code, and I told him how to use this.
Triumph was the underdog, living in the bad world, thinking for the stars, of the legio, living in the TV state. Lying on the beach, living doing the same. Triumph didn't seem to fall, living in the bad world, thinking for the stars, of the legio, living in the TV state. Lying on the beach, living doing the same. Triumph was the underdog, living in the bad world, thinking for the stars, of the legio, living in the TV state. Lying on the beach, living doing the same. Triumph didn't seem to fall. Living in the bad world, looking for the stars of the sun, you're living with the sea and say, lying on the beach, you're doing the same. I'm the king of the world. I'm the king of the world.
Some things in the Republic of best in the world.
I'm the king of the world. I'm the king of the world. I'm the king of the world. Salute the butterfly, 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 salute the
You folks hear me out there? I'm not sure. You should probably hear me now. Going to get started in just a few minutes. I want to get a few things set up. Hello, hi. Let me turn this down a little bit. Just wanted to give a quick shout out to my buddy Smokey the Spurg. This is the Smokey the Spurg pre-show intro session. Smokey, I know I said I get started at right about 9:20. Just give me another minute. I want to get a few links together. But this is for you, Smokey the Spurg, I love you, buddy. Enjoy some more disco biscuits while I get a few things ready, and we will be going soon. Oh, yeah, just kidding. My audio's working, you fools. Gotcha. Got him. You got him. More on that later. How we doing, folks? That's right. I said folks. I don't give a fuck anymore. How you doing? Everybody's doing good. It's fucking raining. Shouldn't have cursed that early, but what are you going to do? It's raining in New York City. It's pouring in New York City. So I'm inside. Got home from doing some workout. Talk more about that. What are you folks doing? Lunation in the house. Lunatics. Losers. Lunati. The Illuminati. That's the new one right now, folks, because I am running everything secretly behind the scenes, getting grown men who claim to be professional comedians to completely break to pieces, to absolute shreds. But before we get into Patrick Melton, no, wait, that's Ray DeVito. I want to talk about Patrick Melton, though, to start the show off. If that's Lou Reed, yes, thank you, Stealth Chaos. That is something that that's me. That is me. Who else is up in this? Yes, thank you, Sly Shepherd. I was set in the mood with the Disco Biscuits. That is my favorite band. I can't say enough about the Disco Biscuits. They are touring the country right now, making their way back towards the East Coast. That show we just played was from 2001, the Electric Factory, December 30th, an historic show for them. That was a live audience recording. Pretty sure the copyright is cool with that. I know a little bit of YouTube trouble playing some Disco Biscuits before. Thought I was in the clear playing live shows, but I guess I got to get audience recording. I don't want to bust nobody's balls about that, but I wanted to bring you folks some fun, joyous, energetic, high-paced Blisco, the Disco Biscuits. Gotta love them, man. Isn't that stuff amazing? Pretty aloof today. Yeah, I'm in a pretty good mood right now. I haven't gotten the weed cock going just yet, but we will. The music improved a lot. I don't know if that's me or them, but Louis Armstrong is another guy that I love. But yeah, okay, let's get into it, my friends here. I wanted to start the show off today as a concerned friend. A concerned friend for a certain guy out there in this podcasting community that if you were watching his show last night, it appeared to me and probably to a lot of you as like a cry for help. And I'm talking about Nobody Likes Onions. Yes, I'm talking right now about Patrick Melton of Nobody Likes Onions. I did get to watch some of his stream last night, and I know he's got a lot going on in his life with the whole Rick situation. I know how that's probably weighing down on him. Believe you me, I can commiserate with that sort of stuff, buddy. But man, it looks like he's just completely gone wasted to the marijuana. And I'm really concerned about him that, he's probably laid up in the bathtub right now as we speak, barely able to speak words, just high on cannabis to the point where he probably just, is just gone. You saw that last night. So I'm out here to reach out to a brother. And if you ever need to call me, Patrick, I'm here for you. Let's see if anybody else feels me on that. Remember Meltman from the Action League? Yeah. I guess he did get a little Meltman last night. That was, I guess, a Meltman episode and not a Nobody Likes Onions episode because the poor guy was completely wrecked on cannabis. And I feel like, if he needs to go to a Narcon meeting or an Al-Anon or whatever they call those things, we will take care of you, pal. If you need to talk to somebody, I'm here for you. So just wanted to get that out of the way. I helped this guy Steel Toe last week. He had a similar thing. I'm going to really just compare Steel Toe and Melton right now. Clearly guys that the cannabis, the weed just gets away from them and turns their life upside down. And I don't want to see that, as someone who's, someone who likes to occasionally from time to time enjoy the good Mother Earth. So who else was playing at the TLA? Was that at the TLA? That was the Electric Factory from 2001. But the Disco Biscuits did play the TLA back in the day. I saw a couple shows at the TLA. Kind of a shitbox rock club, but you know what? We need more shitbox rock clubs in America because those smaller venues that packs them in don't really exist as much anymore, especially in New York. It's usually just big venues or just nothing. So I really feel you on that TLA shout out. I saw shows at the Trocadero in Chinatown back in like 2001. That was a cool place to see a show again. I spent some time in Philly when I was in college for a year. Jason Pardo X checking in says, I don't think you can judge him about we judge who? Judge you, judge me, judge Aaron Judge. Who am I judging? Oh, Melton. That's right. Yeah, well, you know what? I will. And I'm just worried about the guy. That's it. Lou Baca. That's fucking right, man. I am Lou Baca. I can't do a full Wookiee because I got neighbors and stuff, and I don't want to, they'll really think that they're living next to Chewbacca. Mr. Blue Sky checking in saying that the super chat button doesn't work. Damn it. Oh, I'm going to get on that. What you can do right now to help is hit the subscribe button, first of all. Second of all, hit the notification button so you know when I'm going live. I don't really have a schedule right now that I'm keeping. Just trying to get in when I can. I've got to build watch hours. So if you can't super chat right now, I get it. You're helping by just watching, by subscribing, by telling people about Stevie Lou comedy, saying, hey, man, there's this horrifically hideous man that talks about movies, video games, sometimes cannabis, and occasionally the Dabbleverse. And he's on MLC sometimes too. If they know MLC, they might know me. They want to see what I'm doing. They want to come support. So that's that. Now, if you do feel generous right now, you can hit the Venmo, boom, or you can hit the PayPal, shebang. It's okay if you don't do that. I'm cool with just bringing this to you right now. This is going to be real rough shot at first. Not going to do a ton of planning. Just going to go at it solo for now on this channel until I get to the monetization level. And then once I hit that and can start doing memberships, I promise to bring you some more focused shows from the Stevie Lou Network. We're going to do it, folks. I got my Lunatic Nation behind me right now, and I can't tell you how much I appreciate that. Every single one of you out there who has stuck it through with me. I'm talking about Zarzar. I'm talking about Balls Deep, David Chandler, Smokey the Spurg, Carlos Danger, all these good folks. Yeah, Carlos, if you want to be a mod, I'm going to need you to put a blade in RD next time you see him. If you do that for me, buddy, I got you. And if you can catch that code, we're good. Fort Apache. Fort Apache is the code word. When I say Fort Apache, that means you go. And when you go, you don't look back. Understand? Good. Okay. Oh, boy. Yeah. Bray had a meltdown today. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about that a little. Don't have a ton today, but we'll go over that. I did feel obligated to kind of go and respond to some things, so I will play a clip for us. We're going to do a clip show thing today. Just one clip, but I had to. So, wanted to first talk a little bit about movies. Let's do a movie talk. What's got you moving? What's got your movie in? Fuck, that doesn't work. I'm gonna have to work on that segment name, but you get it. Went to the movies. Oh, actually, no. Let's go back one. What I did today before I came came on air with you guys. Not came on air. I arrived on air to stream to you. Before I did that, I was doing some kettlebell training. Yeah. Can you believe it? I am a big fan of the kettlebell workout. And I wanted to share with you folks this. This is a Patreon. This guy, the Nile Lift. Can you see that there? Can I zoom in? Are you with me, folks? Nope, you're not looking at that. Oh, that's not it. There we go. There we go. This is the Nile Lift on Patreon. I want you folks, if you're interested in getting into kettlebell workouts, it was something that I always wanted to get into, but I was kind of scared of the idea. Figured I'd hurt myself if I didn't, get proper training. Well, I found this guy on Patreon, the Nile Lift. It's a real easy subscribe. Oh shit! I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I just dropped him there. Nile. I just had it. Shit. Yeah. So basically, folks, if you've never done kettlebell workouts, you could go to the Nile Lift on Patreon and watch his workouts. You could follow along at home. You could even go to the gym. See, membership is only $5 a month. So this is the great thing. You go to the Nile Lift. Okay, you go subscribe for $5, and then you go back and watch all of his episodes. And he does about a 20-minute or so workout, I think about twice a week, maybe once a week, but he does a couple each month. So you can go back just by subscribing and watch every workout along to it. He gives great tips, and it's something that I've been able to utilize myself, and it's gotten me very, very strong. I use it in conjunction with my boxing and Muay Thai, and I'm trying to get more into jiu-jitsu right now. So if you're trying to get functionally strong, the kettlebell workout is really a great beginner step for folks. And the great thing about kettlebells is they get bigger in size, and they also get smaller in size. So if you're a small, tiny person, if you're a female, you don't have to be a big old lug like me to get into kettlebells, but you should do it properly. You can hurt yourself pretty easy if you don't do it properly, but it's pretty simple. It's really intuitive once you start hinging that back and fucking throwing that thing around. It's such a great workout, and I've been feeling a lot fucking stronger because of it. So shout out to the Nile Lift. Lucky 23 people watching. Looks like we're down to a lot less now that it looks like somebody else went live. Speak of the devil, I say his name and he appears. Yeah, for those people who have never seen a Joe Rogan episode, I know, I get it. Joe Rogan's been talking that shit for a long time. I'm not the first person to ever discover kettlebells, but it works for me. You folks should check it out. I can't recommend it enough. Now, I went to the movies last night. I've got the AMC A-list membership, so I get 3 movie tickets a week to use. So I'm not going to 3 movies a week, but I'm going to as many movies as I can. And there is a new film called Getaway Dolls out right now. And it is a Drive Away Dolls. Wow, excuse me, I had that wrong. Drive Away Dolls. Brand new movie, just came out this weekend. It is a Ethan Coen film. Ethan Coen film has a ensemble cast. Now, Ethan Coen is one of the Coen brothers, Ethan and Joel Coen. I'm sure all you folks out there, oh, fuck, I keep saying folks. All you good people out there know the Coens. Why is this? Okay, here we go. So yeah, check this out. Saw this in theaters last night. Drive Away Dolls. A weird one. A very weird one. Oddball. It was absurdist. This is all right. I'm not fucking dealing with that. But yeah, I guess it's getting some bad reviews. I really enjoyed it myself. Now I got super weed cocked before I went in, and I think that's the way to go if you do happen to enjoy that sort of thing, because there are so many weird moments that occur throughout the film. And this is a spoiler-free sort of review, so don't worry. I'm not going to get into really any details that would spoil any things. But for this film, I was seeing basically several different motifs, and just it's like homages to previous Coen brother character types, archetypes that got thrown together into this sort of road trip type film. And I thought it was shot beautifully. There were these really cool psychedelic interstitials that kind of get thrown in, that kind of reminded me of like the Big Lebowski dream sequence, but not as complex, but still very cool and trippy. A lot of weirdness to the story. I did not expect it to be the type of film that it ended up being, focused on a certain type of person. And I guess they kind of hid that in the marketing, but it's nonstop. Certain type of film. And yeah, if you're a Coen brother fan, I think you'll enjoy it enough. And I definitely wouldn't rank it up there anywhere near the top Coen brother films. But at this point in their career, the fact that they're not making like terrible shit movies is good enough for me, because I don't know if I'm even ready to watch this Killers of the Flower Moon, man, because Scorsese just scares the shit out of me after The Irishman. I just like don't want to not like the guy more than he's already made me not like him with The Irishman. Carlos Danger, damn it, why did Arson fire The Stand and leave behind a Ray DeVito? Why didn't Arson burn the stand and leave behind a Ray DeVito download card? I think that's a reference. Carlos Danger, why did you? Oh man. There was something going on in the film, and yeah, the Coens are clearly more lefty kind of leaning guys, but they don't shove it up your ass. I had a lot of laugh out loud moments that the rest of the audience didn't have, which happens more often than not to me. I kind of feel like I can identify with the really dark, humorous stuff that maybe a New York audience is a little scareder to laugh at, where I'm just like, Jesus Christ, that's savage. And I love it. So, yeah, you might be clueless about this, but I say give it a shot. Yeah, Killer of the Flower Moon sounds like a real downer. I am trying to see all of the nominees for this year's Academy Awards, and I haven't seen that yet, so I am kind of due on it. But yeah, saw that Coen film. Gonna go see Tenet tomorrow. Actually, kind of excited about this. They re-released the Christopher Nolan film Tenet in the IMAX in New York, I think around the country, for just like a week or two, and it's only in theaters until the end of this week. I guess Dune is taken over the IMAXs, but Dune 2, excuse me. But I was able to score one of the last seats for Tenet tomorrow night on the IMAX. I think it's the 70 millimeter big format IMAX 2. I'm not 100%, but I'm excited to go see that, because that was a film that didn't get proper theater respect because that was a COVID film. And I've heard mixed reviews, but enjoy what Nolan can do with the camera, the IMAX camera specifically. Oppenheimer, if I didn't love the film as a whole, I did really enjoy what Nolan does. He is a true artist and cinematographer, lover. Being a guy in the business for so long, he's always pushing the boundaries. So you know what? I'm gonna go get not too strong because I heard it's a little confusing. I don't want to get overblown with that one. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, Stealth Chaos is saying Tenet is a real bore fest technique over everything. I've heard that, buddy. You're not the only one that's said that when I told someone else that I was going to go see it. But you know what? It's going to be one of those things where it's going to be like I missed the first chance to see it on IMAX. I have now a second opportunity, which will probably be the last chance to see it on IMAX. And I'm the kind of guy who gets FOMO about shit like that. And it's like, well, you had a chance to see it on IMAX and you'll never have a chance to see it on IMAX again. So why not just go and see it? And, you know, shit. If I gotta like walk out, I will. But I'll go for the ride. Stealth Chaos. I guess he saw Tenet and applauded when it started. But okay, I guess it's time to get to the controversy of the day involving Mr. Raymond DeVito, Ray DeVito Esquire, MMD. Yeah. So I guess yesterday I was on the intranet and I saw on the social medias, the Twitter, that there was some craziness coming out of the Catalano camp. Okay. Specifically, Miss Christina C was posting some pretty outrageous stuff. Maybe you folks know about these people, maybe you don't, but Joey C and Christina Catalano are very interesting, bright type of characters. And I don't mean intelligence wise, but just, you know, appearance wise. They're very loud and brash and say what comes to their mind. So I saw this post on Twitter from Christina and I did the old copy pasta trick. And if the folks out there don't know what that is that when you see something that's like fucking wild, you just copy and paste it and then you repost it in other situations. Now, sometimes you make slight modifications to it and you change one name or you change another thing, or you just do it as is. The reason why I do that, at least, or the reason why I think people do it, this is my strategy, is that there are folks out there that follow Christina C and follow me. And on their timeline, they'll see Christina's post followed up sometimes right after by my post and would possibly get a chuckle out of this. Now, I get it. The subject matter of the tweet was a little outrageous. It involved some sort of abuse, a black eye accusations, you know, which, to be honest, people could get black eyes all sorts of different ways. It wasn't a specific spouse abuse sort of tweet. I think she was being a little bit dramatic, to be honest. You know, believe all women and all this, but she was being a little out there. So that's all it was. Now, yesterday while I was at the film, I'm getting texts from Ray saying, "What is this?" in all caps. "What is this?" And he's sending the post to me. So while I was in the movie, I didn't get a chance to respond right away to him, unfortunately. I didn't think it was that much of a big deal. I thought maybe he was overreacting because that's what this fucking guy does. So I end up seeing this clip. I didn't even see his fucking show. I just see this clip uploaded by My Lost Interest. So please, folks, do give a follow, whatever you want to call it, to My Lost Interest on Twitter, and YouTube. I think I might spell that wrong. I think it's interest. Interest. Fuck. All right. Well, I see it here. It's oh yeah. Okay, I spelled it right. Yeah. Sweet. Smart. Okay. But yeah, this is my lost interests clip. So thank you, buddy. I want to give you full credit here for putting this out there. So I did see that from him. And let me pull it up here. Let's do this. We can all watch it together.
Sing Share Tear Boys Don't Cry. Gotta say I'm sorry. I only know the Cure's version. Boys don't cry.
It's Quad Father on with Ray on Rock Bottom.
All right, what is this? By the way, I don't know what's going on with any of this, but
so great. I'm glad he said that. I'm glad he said that right away. That he doesn't know what's going on with any of this. I just want to make sure that's very clear that he started off by saying, I don't know what's going on with any of this. So that's how he starts this. And again, just to recap, me and him have been having a little something going on lately. Sure, we're both on MLC. We're both kind of vying for Kevin Brennan's attention. Sure. I'll fucking really say that right now, and I don't give a fuck. Sure. That's probably where there is some subconscious back and forth battle going on between Ray and I. Ray used to be the guy that Kevin used to have on all the time, and now I've kind of creeped into that position. I've creeped all right into that position, and I feel like Ray is feeling that a little bit. It happens. We all have egos. I have an ego. I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm some sort of fucking saint, but we've been having a little back and forth. So I put that post up, having a good time. Yeah, I get it. It was a little racy. It was a little outlandish. It probably confused a few people that aren't used to seeing those things. But here's the thing. The Catalanos are 100% a part of this universe. Ray has Joey C on all the time. So the fact that he doesn't know what's going on and he's involved with this stuff all the time with Joey C is kind of on him. Sure, it's a little bit on me for making that dumb post, which I ended up taking down too, because he's texting me saying all this shit as I'm at the movie. So I'm like, Jesus fucking Christ almighty, let me take this shit down and maybe I'll address it after the film. I'll try to talk to him. So instead of waiting for me to talk to him or have a phone call with me, he goes live and says this crazy shit where he's like, I don't really know what's going on, but this is what's happening.
So Stevie Lou
talk shit about you again. Okay.
No,
it seems like he's trying to keep the beef going between you two. What's up with that?
It sounds like he's trying to do something like to try to get he's welcome to the roast with me next Wednesday. Okay. But here's what I don't like. He's a friend of mine.
The roast of Stuttering John, where we're
him being a friend of
him.
mine, but this is getting too
personal.
No, it's getting too not cool. He's really going out of his way. So he deleted it. He deleted this.
Again, I deleted it because he started to text me. What is this? He started to overreact, and I'm like, all right, I don't. He's calling me thin-skinned and I'm too sensitive and stuff like that. But I guess I'm like, I don't have the time or the patience to describe what's going on to this guy. So you know what? It was a dumb attempt at a fucking internet joke. Let me just delete it. That's it. So, but this gets more fun. Let's go. And also, Quad Father, shut the fuck up with the instigating. Jesus Christ, man. I get it. I know what you're trying to do, buddy, here. And I know it's kind of your spot to do that too. So I'm not even really mad at you. But like, dial it back a little, pal. You're coming off a little heavy handed. Just let him fucking unravel himself, man. You didn't need to keep pushing him in that direction. He was going there already, buddy. Like, in these situations, let me give you a little bit of unsolicited advice. When I was on the fucking show with this guy, when he used to have me on all the time, I would just like chill back a little bit and let him fucking go off. So he still will. He ain't.
But he
gonna
did
be
a
stopped.
tweet, and I don't know if he did this. I don't know if he meant to do it from his wife's
Right.
burner
That's see.
account.
Like, okay. I'm even gonna not even. What he's trying to say is that. Again, instead of clearing this up with me on a phone call or a back and forth after like an hour or two, because I didn't respond to him right away, this is where he goes immediately, that I am trying to pretend to be my wife to screw with him. I mean, I'm just, I guess I underestimate people. I guess I don't think through all the possible reaction situations when I do things, and that's a flaw of mine. But boy, oh boy, when I made that fucking post, if I thought in a million years that this man would assume that I was trying to act like I was my wife yelling, it's just, oh man, I've just absolutely lost it. I've lost it. Good evening, David Chandler, Mr. Chandler, aka actually, this is just the real David Chandler. This isn't even his alter ego. I see Mr. Chandler checked in, and thank you, sir, for the PayPal. That is a very, very awesome gift. And I could use it right now because I got fucking a lot of rent to pay coming up on Thursday. But thank you, brother. So yeah, back to this. Let's get this going. Actually, you know what? Let me check in and see where you guys are at with this. Oh, Jesus Christ. That was the fake me. All right. I got to get my moderator in here because we can't have fake people. Jesus Christ. Already. This is like my 4th episode in and I'm already getting it. So, all right. It's all right. Now I'm confused. This is great. All right. Maybe I do need to lay this stuff down. Let's keep it going.
Say to him is I'll say it in front of his face, like making jokes. But so he's tweeted this.
First of all, I do not have a black eye. My husband. Oh, no. I think
my husband
is
does
that
not
Christina
care.
C. Maybe they're talking about not.
So get your shit straight, Ray DeVito.
All right. And this is where to be honest, I got a little upset with Quad Father here. And I did call him last night. I will admit that I did call him out about this because he knew damn well what that was. And he's not immediately trying to stop it and clarify it because you have to clarify things so simply and as simply put to Ray. Otherwise, he can't. And even if he tried to do that, maybe Ray wouldn't have been able to even comprehend it still. But Quad Father, come on, buddy. You knew what that was now. The fact that you said, I think that's Christina C. You see what's going on. You know those guys, Frank and Rochi, and whatever. And hello guys, lawyers. You know what's going on there. I know you're not maybe close with them after whatever happened with me and you. I don't know, whatever. But come on, buddy. You had a chance to step in there and you more went for you want to watch the world burn, which, you know what? Like I said in our conversation, I can't fault you necessarily because that is your spot. That is the role to play right there. Teddy, is KB was trying to explain to him that he worries too much about everything. Like your tweet had anything to do with it, had nothing to do with his life, had no effect on him. Yes, absolutely, Teddy. I did listen to a little bit of MLC today, and Kevin is absolutely right. This is a problem for Ray. This is the same thing that happened with the t-shirts. He fucking flipped out about the Raytard t-shirts, how this was going to affect his career negatively, and he can't do this, that, the other thing. And then all it took was Joe List to tell him just to relax. Everything's gonna be okay, Ray. This is actually a good thing for you, for him to like get off that ledge. So right now he's on the ledge about me and the stand. And let's get into this because I don't want to like, beat around the bush too much
So
here.
all you do is lie with your little friends, but we all know you can't get shit straight, not even yourself. Like this is from his account tagging me. Did they mean to send that to like Joey C or something? Like
Right. Yeah, because I thought the black eye was about Joey C's wife, like
I
had a
don't
black
know
eye at a rest stop. From what I understand, that's correct.
So why am I being? Well, all right. Here's the deal. I think I'm.
Did you bring up Joey C and his wife at all, or is that not a thing?
I didn't bring up anyone. I didn't bring up anyone.
Yeah. Again, okay. He's confused about what was going on there with the tweet. So I mean, I get it. But I'm pretty sure Quad knew exactly what the fuck was going on here, and kind of confused things worse for him. This is like the Star Trek episode with two Captain Kurtz. It is. How am I supposed to know which one is the real Kirk? Am I supposed to ask him a question that only Kirk would know? Is that how he figured it out? Usually that's how you figure it out. I'm looking into making Christopher Nolan a mod. I think he'd probably be good with that. They're both real. I wasn't thinking of any numbers. Okay, maybe they're asking him to pick out a night and time Stevie consistency. Yes, absolutely. Consistency is the key to building a show, and I promise you I will do that. Right now I'm just trying to get the watch hours. And so thank you guys. Okay. Pardon me. What would Joe List do? Exactly, Stealth Chaos. All right, let me get back to this here.
And I definitely didn't like. I like the guy, but this is getting like too desperate. Every other day, him making these fake fights. Like the one day when he jumped on, he's accused me of things that like never. And he's like, "Well, what do you say to this? What do you?" And it's like, so I don't know. So I think I'm going to. He's
well. If you think about it, that's what came.
Did anyone understand what the hell he just said? I'm going to go back a few seconds here. Help me out. Okay, what did he say I did?
And it's like, well, what do you say to this? And it's like fights. Like the one day when he jumped on, he's accused me of things.
Okay, he says that I've been starting fake fights nonstop, and I'm starting the fights. He's saying
these fake fights. Like the one day when he jumped on, he's accused me of things that like never. And it's like, well, what do you say to this? And it's like, so I don't know. So I think I'm going to.
Okay. Did anybody? Thank you. 11. Thank you, Deadpool. Shout out to Bex. The good Bex. Not the evil Bex. 11 all day, all night. Literally day and night. Okay, yeah. So if anybody can translate what he said there, maybe he elaborates.
Well, if you think about it, that's what came between me and BYB and Stevie Lou is doing works. That's the same shit, man.
So,
all right, I got to call the Quad man out here, buddy. I'm sorry, that's just not true. And we did talk about this on the phone, so I don't want to get too elaborate into it because I think he wants to maybe respond more about this, and if he does, he does. If he doesn't, I don't really give a fuck, man, because it's so really kind of bullshit. But the reason why I ended up parting ways with BYB was not over that whole Kate Meany work thing. As a matter of fact, man, like that night the Stuttering John episode happened, and I said I was quitting because of Kate Meany. As soon as the episode ended, I went right on backstage with them, and we were all laughing, having a good time. And I was like, all right, we're going to go with this for a little bit. Let's see how this works. I was running the whole little work. That was my idea, 100%. They were not like privy to it beforehand. I went with it just myself, and we kind of tried to work it for a few days, and it completely got away from us, me personally. And that ended up not being really the thing that became the problem. The real problem ended up being a certain pink ski masked man started saying some pretty fucked up shit about my wife on air. And when I went to the group and said, hey, this ain't cool. So we should not be encouraging this right now with what he's doing, what he's going through. They didn't see it that way. They were like, no, it's your fault. So whatever. I was like, all right, at this point, we used to be real supportive for each other. Clearly, shit's not that same way anymore. So I'm going to move on. I just moved on. And I didn't make a big thing out of it. I just was like, I'm just creative differences. You guys are doing good without me. It's fucking going to be all right. But I got to do my own thing. So I'm doing my own thing here. So to say that this was overworks why I left BYB is absolutely a work. So, I mean, what the fuck, doggy? I love Quad. I think he's a great dude. I think he's doing amazing stuff. Sunday show, Dabble Week in Review was such a great, innovation for him to pull off. And I think they'll be fine over there. But come on, Quaddy.
But
That started our issues, like after Stuttering John thing happened.
So I think I'm taking a break. He's welcome to do the roast thing with me Wednesday because I already invited him to that. But like I'm out. Like I mean, I do comedy for a living. I can't have this type of a
Right. You do comedy for a living, but you think I don't. Right. What kind of living do you have doing comedy? Okay. Like, you're not passed at the Stand. Those shows that you do once a month, like, you only make if you make $100 on that show, buddy, you're lucky. You have to pay out the actual talent mostly. And then you and Goots walk away with whatever's left. I don't even think they pay you directly. I think you get paid through Goots or something. And I don't want to get into your personal finances too much, buddy, but you've brought it here. You've absolutely brought it here. You've said that I'm not a comic, that I don't do stand-up. Motherfucker, last year in January, you were begging to come and do a spot on my show at Brooklyn Comedy Club. The year before that, you were asking me to help you get into Brooklyn Comedy Club because I was a New York stand-up who had people that would come out to see me perform and I could fill a room. You could lie all you want and say that wasn't the case and I haven't worked in 3 years when you've worked with me personally. I've paid you. I've personally paid you out of what I made off of running a show last year. So this whole thing where I'm not a comic, but he's a comic, I'm just absolutely flabbergasted. And that means confused by it, Ray, if you're watching. You're just telling bullshit lies to try to make yourself look better here. And I'm here to say that's horseshit and fuck that stuff. And I don't really give a fuck. Sure, I don't get out there and break my balls trying to continue to be a comic at 41 years old when I know for a fact they're not looking for guys like me and Ray DeVito out there right now to fucking fill lineups, okay? Ray is a charity case. That's why he gets booked, okay? I would be a charity case if I got booked because guys like him and I, we're not fucking A+ stand-up talent, okay? He's a C+ at the best. I'm right around the same, okay? My jokes are on the same fucking level as his. And just because I don't rush to put every fucking special I could try to put together out does not mean that he's any more of a big-time successful comic than I, man. Sure, he's gotten further than I have in the grand scheme of things. But as a 50-year-old man right now, Ray, if you're so terrified about that interaction that I had at the Stand that one day, you really need to look into fucking a different business, man. Because if you're blaming it on your anxiety and your anxiety meds, man, that's even worse. You shouldn't be drinking then if you're doing anxiety meds and this is all fucking you up because all I did was go to the Stand to try to be supportive, okay? I didn't start talking about Chad Ray Goots came up and started talking to me about Chad. He brought it up. I don't want to drag Ray Goots more into this, but he should either be able to confirm that or he'll just deny it for your sake. But either way, that conversation that was had about Chad being emailed about, that came up organically. And I shared that. And then that fucking bartender situation came up also organically. And I shared that. I wasn't going around sneakily. I was sitting at the bar the whole time in one spot. And I'm taking in the scene. So let's keep going with this.
And I met his wife, so I know she didn't, like, she's not involved in this stuff. Do I think it? No, I would never think he did that. And I would also never, I'm never going to talk about that shit. Like, you see me not talk, like Chad's going around thinking I talk about him to other comedians. I wouldn't do that. Same thing with Stevie Lou. Like, no one was like, no, I had to apologize to the fucking stand because they're like, what's going on? Who's this guy? Like, what's this guy's name again? Who's this guy? I'm like, he's just a friend of mine. He just jumps on podcasts
Okay. Yeah, let's continue that.
and stuff. I'm like, it's not like I literally had to, and it's like, so yeah, I don't know. So he could do it.
Okay,
I would never think he did that. And I would also
hold on.
never, I'm never going to talk about that shit. Like, you see me not talk, like Chad's going around thinking I talk about him to other comedians. I wouldn't do that. Same thing with Stevie Lou. Like, no one was like, no, I had to apologize to the fucking stand because they're like, what's going on? Who's this guy? Like, what's this guy's name again? Who's this guy? I'm like, he's just a friend of mine. He just jumps on podcasts and stuff. I'm like, it's not like I literally had to, and it's like, so yeah, I don't know. So he can do the roasting when we went.
Boy. Okay. Ray didn't have to, or if he did call and apologize, like, who did he called the stand? So I need some more information here because this is bullshit. This is 100% bullshit what he's saying there by saying that he had to call the stand to apologize about things because there was nothing that I did there that needed to be apologized about. I sat at the bar, had a good time, and left, and then told my experience at the bar on a podcast the next day. Now, here's where it gets real tricky, and I'm just going to just shoot this shit down very, very straightforward. I can prove this with emails. I'd have to black out email addresses and some things, but I can give you guys the more or less general story about my relationship with the Stand NYC as someone who's lived in New York now for over 20 years, has performed stand-up since about 2016, was involved with stand-up comedy at through Compound Media and the Legion of Skanks because of their involvement at Compound Media since 2016. My good friend Louisa Flutzy, maybe you know her by her name Flutzy, used to live, actually I think she still lives right pretty damn close, blocks away, but pretty close to the old Stand. Okay, if the folks out there don't know, and I'm saying folks a bunch right now because I'm fucking hophead and hothead at the same time. Louisa Flutzy used to live pretty close to the Stand and was very good friends with Patrick, the manager, talent manager, general manager of the Stand. Okay, if you folks know, Patrick used to run a blog about New York City comedy and ran the Stand. A huge Irish guy, mountain size of a man, but one of the nicest guys you've ever met. A complete like angel in a giant scary man's body. I used to go to the Stand before I started doing comedy. Sure. When I was like 2015, first getting into Compound Media, meeting Louisa, we used to go over to the Stand and watch shows. If it was a sold out show, Patrick would either let us sit in the VIP area or let us stand in the back. They used to do a lot of crazy shows. We'd see Artie Lang perform down there, all sorts of big names. Patrick was always very cool to me. He was a fan of Anthony Cumia and Compound Media, especially when they first started. I started early on at Compound Media with the Eastside Dave show. So Patrick knew me at the old Stand and we were friendly. Okay. Fast forward to the Stand is closing and moving to a new location. At that point, I'm not only full-time stand-up comedian, I've quit my desk job that I was doing while I was working for Eastside Dave on Compound. I quit that desk job and was pursuing comedy full-time. Okay? While I was doing that, I was working at a venue in the village that had a cabaret in the basement where we ran VIP private high-end comedy shows. Okay? I was the assistant facilities manager was my title. It was just a paycheck because I ran the joint and ran the comedy shows in the basement. We had a bar, a fucking liquor license bar that I ran that whole operation. I helped with some other guys, but I was more or less the point guy that ran that show. When the stand closed, they needed a new location for Louis J. Gomez's Roastmasters. They had to do that show still somewhere else while they moved the stand. They did the same thing to Frantic. The Frantic moved to Rockwood Music Hall. I was able to facilitate, me personally, through Paul, the owner of the stand. Paul and I personally met one-on-one together outside of Hills, the barbecue joint out in Red Hook in Brooklyn. I'm forgetting the name. I did a benefit show there, and someone told him that I had a venue, and he and I spoke, and I was the one who got Roastmasters at that satellite location. They ended up doing a few episodes there. I had to work directly with Adele from the stand. I had to work directly with Gas Digital to get all of their equipment into that building so that they could live stream the event. I used to have to handle the green room. They would have Rich Voss being a guest judge. It would be Jay, Lewis. I think Ray might have even fucking opened for one of these shows that was there at it was called the Soho Playhouse. So I was just looking at emails from 2018 that I have between myself, Joe Harari, the manager at the stand, with Paul Italia CC'd, and I could easily just throw those emails up there to shut this moron up to prove that I know the folks over at the stand pretty well. So the fact that he's saying that he had to make a phone call to say that, oh, it's just some guy that does podcasts, he's a nobody, is so fucking ridiculous, Ray. It's such horseshit. If you made that call, you sounded like a fucking moron, and I don't think you made that phone call. I want to hear the actual details of the phone call because you're going, I told Kevin off air about it. It doesn't matter what you say off air, buddy. I want to hear out of your mouth the phone call that was made. And then I want you to talk to those folks and say, oh, yeah, you realize this was this guy, Stephen Lewis, a guy that's had some relationship with you before, not just some stranger that fucking just walked out of the street and came to fuck things up. So I really had to just clear that up. And I'm not like a fucking VIP or anything at the stand. I'm just a regular old patron, but I do know the owner. I do know the management there. I've worked with them before. So for him to pull this fucking garbage
Wednesday, but I definitely just need a break from that guy. Like, this is.
Yeah, I thought you guys kind of had kissed and made up or whatever. But
I don't know, but it's
and then like more shit comes up.
No, he tried. I don't know what's going on with, and I don't want to figure out his head. It's fine, all right, fine. We don't got to be.
I mean, is he trying to do bits for MLC? Is that?
I think that's what I think is going on. Is I think he's trying to do bits for MLC, and it's like, dude, I'm not. I don't care. Like,
okay, look at my suggested. I love it. So you don't care. Where did I go? There I am. You don't care, and he don't get it, but he don't care. Ray's sending me the link. I'm not doing your show tonight, Ray. I'm doing my show, okay? I'll stream snipe him right now if that's what we want to do. But right now I'm just doing my show, and I'm doing Kevin's show. That's it. So I'll pull it up and see what the fuck he's going on about. But I'm sorry, I'm not jumping on right now.
Yeah, because I got to go to either I don't have a doctor in Ohio, so I got to go to urgent care or I got to go to urgent care or the ER. But so I'm gonna go. You're my friend. What are you doing, dude? Like, yeah, I'd like Stevie Lou to jump on just because, like, I just want to like.
I'm here, Ray.
You're my friend. What are you doing, dude? Like,
Are you my friend,
like,
Ray? Am I your friend, Ray? Like, when we've had these little beefs, he immediately starts screaming, "That's why your wife left you, and you're a fentanyl dealer." Like, are you my friend? Because those aren't jokes. That's not funny. That's just bullshit that you fucking get off the internet from fucking trolls and use against me. And there's no joke there. So I honestly don't feel that you're a buddy when you go that route. And you can call me sensitive and all that, but you know, I try to just make fun of you.
Also, I am
real
going
shit.
Yes, I'm going to do the John roast. Stevie Lou's welcome to join me, and I will roast Stevie Lou too. I don't give a shit about money. I'm not doing it because of money. I don't give a fuck
This
about
is a
money.
new thing.
I don't give a shit. Yeah, and it's not even doesn't even have to be a roast. It's not a battle. It's not a battle. It's just roast to have fun. Like,
All right, I don't know what that even means, man. This is kind of crazy. It's like he wants to battle Stuttering John while he's not there. No one wants him to do that. And then he wants me to roast him as well at the same time. Like even Kevin said, just how about we just roast each other? If you want to like add Stuttering John roast jokes in between jokes against me, like I guess that's
the whole thing started with
what you wanna
Stuttering
do.
John.
But if he wants
saying
to
I'm
do
not a
roast jokes against me,
comedian,
I'm
he's a
fine with
better
that.
comedian
Let's do
than
it.
me, and him shitting on me and me being like, "All right, dude, let's roast battle." And he was like, "All right, I'll kick your ass." I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, okay. Let's go back to that too. Ray got all fucking butthurt on that episode where John was just saying things that he did. John was making fun of him for doing a costume change. And I get it. Mrs. Bentley asked him to do the costume change, but he did do a costume change. And John picked up on that. And that's a mockable thing. So it is what it is. And then he was screaming in our ears when we were sitting, at the bar. He was screaming annoyingly. So John said two things that were true. And then that turned into Ray thinking that he's being attacked.
Well, it's on. So that's what started it. And now Stevie Lou wants to, okay, fine. I will roast Stevie Lou too. I'm going to roast Stuttering John and Stevie Lou.
Great.
And again,
Okay.
it's not a battle.
This is good.
He's welcome to join me Wednesday at noon.
This is good.
And we will also roast.
Next Wednesday, not this Wednesday, right?
Everybody. And I'm doing it. I'm going to be mean and vicious.
I appreciate that then.
But
yeah, be mean and vicious, buddy.
And it's fun.
Because you're going to look like a fucking idiot.
It's not about, like, that's the other thing too. About
So this is the thing. You could be mean and vicious and be gentleman. You can do that, Ray. But just to shit there, to sit there and shit on me, saying, oh, this is why your wife left you. That's all he has. Or go sell fentanyl over and over again. Like, that's not being a gentleman and being vicious. That's being a moron and being vicious. So I hope he can get it together. And like, I'm
about roasts. I've done a zillion roasts.
He hasn't done a zillion roasts. We saw his roast battle ability when he went against Chad. It's not like someone who's done a zillion roasts. Like, this is where, again, it's like, what is he saying? He's not an expert roast battler. He's not. But he's saying, I've done a zillion roasts, so I'm so good at this. When he did do his roast against Chad, he was taking roast jokes off of YouTube's, off of the roast to go, like whatever, and reusing it. He was using shit that people were sending him, and his own jokes too, sure. But like, he is not like, what the fuck? He thinks he's this big swinging dick. And Ray, let's do it, buddy.
It's not about like, how much do I get paid? Do I get paid to do a roast? It's like, no, it's just a comedy roast, like those comedy roast battles that Louis J. Gomez would host at the Stand. And
holy shit, here we go. Yeah. So this is exactly what I was talking about. The roast battles that were called Roast Masters at the Stand, when they had to move it, they came and did that show at the venue that I managed. And I was the one who made that happen, Ray. And they used to have some comic open up the show with like 20 minutes to get the crowd warmed up. And I guess Ray did it once over at the stand a couple times.
I hosted the show before.
But he was never like a featured roast judge. I don't remember him ever being a major part of their panel. You know? So if he's trying to act like he was a big part of that roast Masters with Lewis and part of the panel and stuff like that, no, Ray, you did some opening spots, you know, and I don't think you ever roasted anybody on that show. I don't think they offered the spot to you, you know. So
for Northern Discomfort was the name of the show at the stand then. And then I would open up the roast battle shows just by doing a stand-up set. Like those comics were not getting paid to do roast battle. It was just like a fun thing. It wasn't a thing like, hey, I'm going to take you down. This is war. I mean, be as mean as you want, but
yeah, but you know what, Ray? That whole roast battle scene, I don't think that's actually right. I think maybe the headlining roast people might have got paid, and if they didn't get paid, there would always be like a big roast battle tournament at the end of the year where you would get paid there. So if you had done well throughout the year for free, you would have an opportunity to go and get paid. Also, the clips would be great for those. Like there was this famous one where Zach Amico roasted. It might have been Karen Margolis or Karen Feehan. I think it was Zach versus Karen Feehan, where it was like nerd destroys hot girl, and it has millions of views, like crazy amount of views and shit. And you used to get some good pop off of being on the roast battle, even if you were in the undercard, and it would just be good for your comic resume, to get out there. So yeah, he's not wrong saying that people,
it was all
we'll do
they
it for
just
free.
did it.
But also, what we do on Kevin Brennan's show is not the fucking roast battle live at the stand. It's a much different thing. It's a thing that people pay and support. So the fact that he's drawing a false equivalency there, and he's trying to actually act like he's an altruistic roast battler, that he just doesn't do it for the money now, although he does do it for the money when I'm causing problems, but he doesn't do it for the money now because he's just a comic. It's like, what the fuck, right? Come on, man. Like, Jesus. David Chandler says, I heard Stevie auditioned for a role on One Life to Live. Jesus, come on, man. That's not cool. Ray is maybe not a sociopath, but he's definitely displaying sociopathic tendencies, and he's giving off a sociopathic vibe. I'm sorry, but
out of fun, just all right, you be mean to me, I'll be mean to you. So yeah, Stevie Lou, I'll roast you. We're gonna do it Wednesday at noon.
Next Wednesday at noon, Ray.
Wednesday's
tomorrow.
Stunning John jokes too. Great. I will roast Stevie Lou and Stunning John Wednesday at noon. And then we'll do it. But in the meantime, yeah, I did block Stevie Lou. I did, just because I do not need him. Yeah, I don't need him.
Oh my God, Ray!
Trying to sabotage stuff for me.
There was no sabotage, Ray. There was no sabotage. To call that sabotage, man, it's like, I can't stand it. I know you planned it. I'm gonna set it straight this Watergate. I can't stand rocking when you're in here because your crystal ball ain't so crystal clear. So listen up and wonder why I got this fucking thorn in my side. Oh my God, it's a mirage. I'm telling y'all, it's sabotage. All right, that was weird. He's rambling. Yeah, he is kind of fucking crazy rambling.
And I get it. He's new to this podcasting thing. This is his way that he wants to make a name for himself.
I'm new to this podcasting thing. Oh my fucking God. He's been having me on his podcast for over 4 years now. I think 3 years. He's been having me on his podcast for 3 years. I've been going on MLC since like 2019. Maybe 2019. Yeah. Started doing Compound 2016, have my own podcast, Blunt Smoker Video. Sure. I'm just starting this Stevie Lou channel going right now. Sure. This is new. If that's what he means, that my new channel is new, this is how I want to. Yeah. I don't know, man. It's just that's confusing to me.
For himself, this podcasting thing, and that's fine. But like, I mean, don't use me for leverage, man. I've always been a nice guy to you, and I considered you a friend. But at the same time, it's like, yeah, dude. Because I am one of the only comedians in this Dabbleverse that still has to pay my bills by doing stand-up comedy.
Ray, I'm telling you, buddy. Like, okay, like let's get real. I know people are joking, like get a job at Home Depot. Amazon's hiring. Maybe Bobo can hook you up at UPS. But let's be serious, right? At 50 years old, you need to have not a 5-year plan, like a 2-year plan that leads to your 5-year plan. And I'm talking like start teaching comedy classes. Look to places that need comedy coaches and like comedy professors and shit like that, because you could use the credits that you have with Guy Code, Gaffigan, and your stand-up, your dry bar. You could use that as a portfolio to get yourself hired on like a more full-time job that could support you, so that you're not worried about bullshit like Kevin was saying. And you're at that age right now where a lot of comedians do finally pivot out of this like stunted Peter Pan life. And I get it. What I'm saying right now could be absolutely projection looking back at me, but that's the reason kind of like why I had a come to Jesus moment with stand up a while ago when I got married, especially. And look where that fucking, I'm just kidding. Love you, baby. Like it started to look grim out there when I did try to go full-time comedian on my own and rely only on stand-up in that location that I was helping manage, that gave me a fucking like minimum wage check on top of cash that I was making off of ticket sales and bar sales and stuff like that. So, buddy, like you really start thinking about, not grinding, because I hear that car that you got ain't fucking gonna be. Don't take that like someone's going to be removing lug nuts or nothing next time you're in Queens. That's fucked up. I would never. But like I'm hearing that thing is going to be fucking, you're running it goddamn to the ground, just like yourself, buddy. So, saying I'm just going to die in 10 years is not a 10-year plan. So
I do. I have to do VFWs every other week. They're private shows or whatever. Yeah, and people saying like, "Oh, he's embarrassed that he's had to do an open mic or what." Like, no, that was a music open night in Kent, Ohio, and then I did one before that in Akron before I went to Kent, Ohio. Just because, like, yeah, I got to practice jokes. You just don't show up.
Open mics are embarrassing. I don't give a fuck how he wants to spin it, man. Open mics are embarrassing. I mean, maybe open mics in Ohio are different than they are in New York, but it is one of the worst fucking times. I went through it. I used to run an open mic, and I used to hate having to go to run my open mic, because you're just getting psychos and boring, bad comedy before you get your chance to go up and do your bad, boring comedy that no one gives a fuck about. So
You got to do new.
You do have to practice. You do need to do new jokes. So that's why you
practice
do
new
it. But
jokes.
it's something you
have
should be
to do it.
embarrassed of.
Otherwise, you're gonna stink. Like I don't know. It's like being a professional basketball player.
At your level, you should be able to get gigs to try new jokes out and not have to do open mics, And like, okay, here's something that I wanted to touch upon. Let me catch up with the chat real quick. Yes, get ready for the Ray Roast. Thank you. Next Wednesday. Thank you. Next Wednesday at high noon. Ross Dog's Broken Spirit is saying, which is not going to work for me. I got work, so we'll hopefully do it in the evening. Yeah, Ray, I'm getting some Ray sniping numbers. Thank you, Ray. And again, folks, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, watch the live feeds that I have put up already to help me get some more watch hours. I'm going to try to push it for at least another half hour, maybe more. If I can get to 3 hours tonight, that'd be huge. All you folks, all you people watching right now with me, thank you very much. And yes, I am whispering a little bit because I do have neighbors. But yeah, here's what I wanted to say. It's like being a comedian, being a comic. What is the definition? And I'm going to pivot a little bit. Like for me, to describe what being a comedian is, it's like describing what is a musician. It's a similar thing. Like you can be a musician who is just starting, learning, playing in a high school band. If you've got a kid who's 16 years old and they play in a high school band, do you not say to people, I've got a kid who's a musician, right? Now, hopefully that kid goes on to, play in a band and make professional money out of it. And that would be great. And then he'd be a professional musician. Then there would be a difference to say like, hey, that person's a musician. That person's a professional musician. It's kind of like saying, okay, you're a comic and then that's a professional comic, For example, Pat Dixon is a guy who I would call that's a professional comic because he absolutely has given his entire adult life, more or less, to the art of comedy. It's an art. It really is. Or the lifestyle where he has actually really gone on the road and, put out some albums, legit stuff. He's got a half hour on Comedy Central, I believe. He was part of, I can't believe this is not happening. He's got a great, this is not happening episode. So like, sure. When Pat Dixon says Stevie Lou's not a comic, I get what he's saying. He's saying Stevie Lou's not a professional comic. Okay. I did try to be a professional comic for a couple of years and it was really brutal. I barely made like Ray money. I can pull up my fucking tax records from those years of like 2018, 2019, and it's fucking bad, man. So if you were a professional comic at one point, you were a professional musician, but now you're like homeless playing in the subway for money. Like, are you still a professional musician? Because, I'm still making money, but I have to live in the subway and eat at the soup kitchen, but I'm still making like, $50 a day playing on the street. So I'm still a fucking professional comedian and you're not a professional comedian. That's the kind of fucking thing I'm feeling right now with how Ray wants to try to belittle me and try to like act like he's the big dog. And I'm like thinking in my head ways I could try to describe the situation better. I think it's like surfing too. It's like people that surf have learned to surf. Not everybody can surf, So are you a surfer just because you don't get paid to be in surf competition and you're not sponsored? Like, you're still a surfer. You've learned to surf, you've become a surfer, and sure, a professional surfer could look down on you, but people who think they're professional surfers when they're just surfers criticizing other surfers, it's like, come on, guys, what the fuck? Come on. Like, are you guys feeling me on this here? Does that? Yeah, Ray's pulling a Corey shot to Corey Adam. Stevie loves Toxie. That's right. Yeah, it all boils down to, can you get paid for it? In Stealth Chaos, I can go out if I really wanted to, and I don't want to sound like Chad or fucking, shoulda, woulda, coulda, but if I did want to go and book a room and get my crew together and say, hey, I'm throwing a show here. I got a couple of other comedians coming up with me. We'll do a one-nighter. I could go out and make a couple $100 off of that. That's how I was doing it at the end. I wasn't going out and grinding for $20 here, $20 there. I would do once a month shows where I would sell a bunch of tickets, get paid for those tickets, and then dole out money and take the rest. That's how it works. So I did make money doing comedy for a while. I'm hoping to make money doing this shit soon. So let's keep seeing.
You have to try them out somewhere, and that's what I do. And I am lucky going to like open mics like in Cleveland, where I do get like longer sets than the other comics on the thing, just because it's like, all right, well, this guy. There are some people here actually like crowd members, and we want to keep them engaged. So so I'll get more time, and it's not bragging.
Joey C is allowed. I would be great if we can get like. I went to a Catholic high school, and I was playing sports, and we used to have Brother Gaffney used to come and say a prayer before every game. We would always say a weird prayer thing. And then if anyone ever got hurt on the field, if the opposing team or our team, we would all take a knee and say a prayer. So yeah, Joey C, Pastor Joey, can absolutely jump in and give us a pre-show.
Bragging about it. But the producer buys me a couple beers or something. Like, yeah, I'm not bragging. It's just practice. It's not. And also, I'm not going to announce that I'm doing an open mic. Like, but yeah, I do them. I do them.
Definitely don't announce.
And that's what you have to do. Like, I'm still in this comedy game. He
is. Barely hanging on.
I'll do a new album this year before this is all
I hope he
over.
does. And that's another thing too. Like
another album, but
like the last album that he put out, The Balconies, like I helped him a bunch filming for that. I didn't do a ton, I don't even know if he gave me a credit on that thing or not, but I absolutely went out of my way to help him record some audience reactions and some other shit. I forget exactly, but I was there for him, helping him out with that sort of shit. And that's the sort of shit that he's completely forgotten about. I don't give a fuck. I'm not looking for a pat on the back, but the fact that he don't even like acknowledge that sort of shit anymore is kind of sad. That he just wants to go, what'd you do for me lately?
Yeah, with the Stevie stuff, it's like, dude, what are you doing, dude? Like, why the fuck are you? Like, I'm supposed to be your friend, and now like you're using me for leverage. It's like
he's bringing it up, man. That's the thing too. He was the one that fucking brought that shit up. It went yesterday from that fucking stupid tweet that I put into this. I just want to make sure that's very clear that little stupid tweet thing that I did yesterday has now snowballed into Ray going back into this sociopathic fucking mindset that I'm trying to hurt his livelihood and all this, just like Ari Jane was trying to hurt his livelihood in Detroit and all that, and it's like you see his moves now and it's just like, come on, man.
It's like, come on, man.
Come on, man. Oh, please don't clip that. Please don't clip that.
I'm not a fucking pawn in your game, man. It's not that really pissed me off. And Kevin, who obviously, I mean, yeah, even though he's a bad hang, he's not a fun hang. I've hung out. He's not comfortable to hang out. No, he's a nice guy when he wants to be, but
I don't agree with that at all, man. I've hung out with Kevin in New York City before outside the stand, man, and he actually is a good time to hang out with. I get it. When he was hanging out with Ray backstage for his taping, maybe he was a little guarded. In AC, maybe Kevin was a little guarded because of the situation. But when he's like in his element, hanging out backstage in the green room at Compound Media, man, he is not a weird dude. He's not uptight. He is as loosey-goose, chill as ever, man. So I don't know what the fuck Ray is even trying to put out right now. Talking shit.
Like, yeah, it's I don't know. I was supposed to hang out with him Monday, but I guess he's not going. So if he's not hanging out with me Monday, that's fine. But yeah, I mean, he, like he did it right. Like for me, it was it was like a weird path, New York City for me, because like I started out comedy by doing comedy in Ohio, and I got lucky. I started featuring on the road like pretty immediately within like 6 months of doing comedy. Mainly because I had a car and I would drive like headliners like Kerry White and Mike Veneman, which were like big deal headliners in Northeast Ohio. So I got into
That is a legit thing in New York City comedy. 80 to 90% of comedians in New York City don't own a car. I mean, I think like 70% of the population in New York City doesn't own a car. So if you even take that to the poor ass comedians, 90% of them do not drive, have a car. So that was something I heard as like a tip. Hey, if you have a license and you drive, like make sure you tell people that, because they will just use you as an opener, just because a lot of headliners who get gigs in the Northeast or down DC need someone to drive them. So that is pretty funny that Ray is picking up on an absolute like cheat that you would use to try to get yourself ahead. No matter how shitty you might have been at comedy, if you had a car, people would bring you on the road.
a lot of comedy club chains in the early 2000s, and I would just drive around the country doing comedy. So I did that, and then I learned how to be a good road comic. I learned how to be a good road comic, and yeah, I mean, hacky jokes. One
Now, he said, Weedcock, he says that he is a good road comic. He's saying he's a good road comic. I just want to say that one more time. He said that he's a good road comic. I have never once Stevie, put the weed cock down. It is distracting. I get it. I'm sorry, Kevin. I apologize. That was out of line. And I promise I won't ever do that again on MLC like that. But here, party on, Wayne. Party on, God. Fucking call the So he said that he's a good road comic. I've never once heard another person say Ray DeVito is a good road comic. I'm going to be straight up. Out of his mouth, he learned to become a great road comic in his interpretation. But I'm sorry. I would love to see him show his work on that one.
One Furious F just bought my album 1647 Waterbury on iTunes because I mentioned it. And yeah, I mean that was filmed, or that was actually recorded in Livonia and at Joey's Comedy Club, where I met Joe Matarese. And yeah, I mean that's a
Mr. Chow. Imagine what Chappelle or Louis C.K. thinks of someone like Ray. Now, Ray can argue that Jim Gaffigan knows him and is probably nice to him when he sees him in person. But what Ray can't say, because I saw this in person, unfortunately, and I'll blow his fucking spot up. I don't give a fuck at this point. And it was at the Stand, the night of his album release party, when all of these mega comics all showed up at once. And he was like, fucking like kind of being annoying Ray because he was a little drunk. Like I saw Shane Gillis and Ray have an interaction at the bar, and Shane went like, "Huh, that's nice." Like that. I hate to be like a dick here and spill some tea, but I saw Shane Gillis do like the what the fuck when Ray goes like, "Come on, buddy, you always punch me in the nuts." He was like being weird, too close, and they were having a good time. I'm sorry, Ray. I'm sure Shane knows you and has been a friend of yours in the past, but right now where he's at, you're not on his fucking You're not in his fucking phone book. I saw you post that picture of him online because he was on Saturday Night Live, and it was a very Chad Zumaki kind of post, Ray. It was a little cringy, man. Like, I've seen Mark Norman like run away from you at the stand before when you try to get him on the pod again. And again, that's me being a little fucking petty. But at this point, man, it's gotten that level.
Road comedy set act. I mean, that's exactly what it is. I like when you Google that address, the house I grew up with does not show up. It's more. And by the way, if you buy the album, nobody buy it. Just let me know. I'll send you the tracks if you want it. You do not have to, like, one fears of buying it. I'll probably never see a dime of that. You can just
yeah, folks, hit the like button. I don't know if that's a joke from Zarzar or not, if that really is a good ratio, but if you haven't, please do hit the like button. Let's get this out there. And listen, man, like, at the end of the day, I'm not mad at Ray DeVito. I'm not mad at Ray DeVito. I wish him well. I'm not really mad at Ray. If anybody thinks I'm gonna fucking do something bad, like, he can literally at this point say whatever the fuck he wants. Because I know I can't control him, and we say we want to control our controllables out there. And that's definitely something I can't control, and I can just kind of enjoy the ride. So
I wish you would have just like sent me a message, and I would have just sent you the album. But yeah, this is
let's see, can we?
There you go. That's the album. My first ever album, and it was on SiriusXM.
Speed
now it's
Ray
not on
up a little
SiriusXM
bit.
because the fact that they did that thing where now you got to go through a record label to be on SiriusXM, and that was not through a record label, so that was a young me. But yeah, that's like road comedy thing, and like this is also like not a shot at Chad Zuma, but that's what Chad never did well in New York City. It's a different thing. So when I first got to New York City, I would do road jokes, and I would kill in Middle America with those jokes. It is kind of like cheerleading and kind of like playing to the lowest common denominator. But then when I moved to New York City, and I was probably like 30 years old then, I was over 30 at that point. Right. And
that's insane that he's saying that he was doing road comedy in New York City and like surprised that it wasn't working. Jesus Christ. I know he said this before, but this is like such a silly like thing, a bullet point that he has. It's like such a dumb thing to have done.
I wasn't part of the young crew. I had to like learn to like reinvent myself as far as like joke wise, and this is at the time when the alt comedy scene was like a big deal.
Ray is a trainable. It's true.
Funny comic. He was on the podcast a few days back. Yeah, it was a different animal, and it was more inviting to like new comic. So go out of my way to do weirder jokes that were like for the alt comedy scene. So I had to like relearn how to do comedy, and that's what you do when you get to New York City. You relearn to do comedy, but
Ray had to teach himself how to walk again. He had this tremendous recovery story. That's what he's telling us about, how, he started off as a road comic, but then when he moved to New York, he lost use of his legs. But slowly but surely, through practice and rehab, he was able to just start getting to moving one by one again. And then next thing you know, he was walking. And then he went from a walk to a run. And then from a run to a full sprint. The amazing story of road comic Ray DeVito coming to New York City.
At that time, like the other comics that were coming up in the scene, like the Joe List and the Mark Normans and the, Racine. Like I was Mike Lawrence, very funny comic. These are all very funny comics, but they were already
what?
Mushroom they were like the new comics that would
you're a mushroom robot.
Yeah, Nick Turner, who's been on this podcast before.
Never heard
Nick
of him.
Vatterott, great. And they were like a little younger than me, and they were like the young hot I always felt like, but that's the story of my life. I always felt like a little out of place. Like I was like already a little older than them, as I was like a new comic in New York City. So I always felt like a little out of place with that. and then I would write sketches. I would have, and that's how I got on Comedy Central's Adam TV.
Holy shit! Hold on.
And like I said,
Holy shit! Hold on. Jesus fucking Christ, Ray. All right. So he's saying that when he first moved to New York City back in 2005, he felt that he was a little too old. Back in 2005, he felt that maybe he was a little too old for the scene. So 19 years later, he would be what now? Okay. Thank you very much. I got the notification. Hold on one second. Let me see. Oh, fuck, I gotta get balls deep in here. I literally gotta get balls deep in here, buddy. If you're out there, balls, get on that, balls. I'll see what I can do about fixing that DC. That's fucked up. I'll see if I can take care of that after. Thank you for the heads up. But Ray said that when he first moved to New York City 20 years ago, he felt old for the scene. And now 20 years later, he's wearing his Jordans and his Hugo Boss on stage. Oh my God. You gotta love that.
it helped having I talked about this with Liam. It helped a lot that like the comics coming up that time that were my sketches that were brilliant. Was
oh my God. If that Liam, I heard that
Eric
Liam
Andre,
episode. I heard that Liam episode was taken down. I hope it wasn't because I don't know. Like the clips that I've seen of that Liam episode were out of control. I love this guy, Liam McElhenney. Gotta get that guy on. I want to get that guy on. He'll be a guest on Stevie Lou, whatever we call this, mental midget tossing live. We'll get to that also. I do have a point about that. Yeah, KSM construction. I guess I am a little erect for Ray. Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't let him jigangi in my mouth. Ray has a trendy Jamaican wedge hairdo, gold chain, and Jordan's. Exactly what I was saying. Thank you, Mickey. We're on the same page there. Straight poses, you feel me, yo? Zombie tech. Yeah, I guess he's talking about Ray and the Barry voice. Love it. Get Liam on MLC. Yeah, I don't know. That's a Kevin thing. He name drops a heap of comedians that have surpassed him. Ray is not on their level. Brilliant sketches, piff. Yeah, he is onto something here. I will give him credit that I guess he did work with Eric Andre,
Baron Vaughn, Andre Dubuchet, who I didn't even realize. I know
guys like Eric Andre and Hannibal Buress were performing at the Creek in the Cave.
One of the head writers on.
You know, a lot of like really good shit started at the Creek in the Cave. The last podcast on the left started there. I actually kind of started at the Creek in the Cave, you can kind of say, because I used to do a lot of the open mics there and the booked shows as well. Eventually, I did get to get booked at the Creek eventually. Thank you to Rebecca Trent. Wonderful lady.
Conan for 10 years. I'm like, what happened to Andre Dubuchet? And Liam's like, yeah, he moved to LA and he was like the head writer on Conan for 10 years. One of the funniest dudes ever, man. I don't know, like go down a rabbit hole of Andre Dubuchet.
Don't do that. You don't need to do that.
Yeah, the alt comedy scene was like more inviting to like the new people. You know, as
read like, Piazza. Okay,
do like the weirdest jokes.
More Piazza.
And so yeah, it was like that was it. And then like I did the MTV stuff for Guy Code. I would write this stuff,
which was good. Even good credit. I'll give him credit there for that credit.
I was still like too old.
See, I will agree with him on some points. I won't completely blow him out of the water on everything like a dickhead.
Too old for the TV show stuff.
Guy Code is a good thing that people still kind of remember.
Being in like my mid-30s, and those videos are still on my YouTube stuff. Yeah. Also, a lot of what do you call it? A lot of my sketches I did for.
No, that's a real
Adam
background,
TV,
baby.
Comedy Central and stuff. Well, this is all stuff I discussed with Liam, but that's all up there. You go to my YouTube channel, Ray RAYDEVI, and you'll see
Lambda. Ray steals bread butts from the trash at Panera. Can you imagine if he's
Hannibal Buress and stuff? And I mean, I got paid for doing. I didn't get paid much. That's the other thing too. You didn't like get paid much. And
Can I get an image of that?
so like
Ray
I wasn't like a
stealing
hip
out of a
young
Panero
comic.
dumpster.
If I would have got to New York City when I
If
was like
anybody's
19,
good with the
20,
Photoshop.
I think I would have been fine. It would have been, but yeah, the fact that I was like 30 something by the time I got there, I wasn't one of the cool kids. I was there, and I was respected by other comics, but like I as far as the industry, like Comedy Central would hang out at my show at Sacapuntas, but like I wasn't the guy they were like looking to talk to. They would see Eric Andre on that show. I'm like, oh,
Listen, I'm not trying to steal views from Ray today. It looks like he was doing all right in the super chats too. And you know what? Ray needs the support. And I'm not trying to say that like slighting him. He definitely could use the support more than me, right now. Not saying that you shouldn't try to support your boy Stevie here. And thank you to all who have and do. But Ray definitely needs the support. So I'm not trying to steal fucking views and shit from him right now. I'm just trying to get my stuff out there right now. Where are we at? I'm trying to see. Almost 2-hour mark here. Thanks so much for checking in. It's Pat Dixon time too right now, 11 o'clock. This is the Pat Dixon hour. So if some folks do drop off for Pat, I totally get it. Don't think I'll be going too late tonight, but we got a good thing going on here. Let's keep going with Ray for a little more.
oh, that's the guy they wanted to talk to, not me. So I always felt like on the and also that's like my personality. Like obviously you guys know, like growing up, I wasn't even one of the most popular kids in my house. Like I was the least liked person in my house out of all my siblings. So like there's a lot of shit that I had to fucking deal with in that regard. Beloved chatter. All right, let's get into some super chats now that we got going a little bit.
Oh my God.
Stevie Lou is doing a show about you. Can Quad call mental midget tossing? Maybe he's not your bro. So wait a minute, he's doing a show with Godfather? Stevie Lou is doing a show about you.
This is fucking
Quad call... Okay. Yeah, I get it. I see.
This is kind of funny. I'm sorry.
But yeah, and that whole thing, like, I mean, I talked to Kevin. Yeah, that whole thing when that stuff went down and they called Patrick, when they called the booker the club, and I explained to Patrick what's going on. And that's what he's the one that had no idea who the hell Stevie Lou was. He's like, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, that's 100% not the case. So either he didn't describe me properly, which wouldn't be surprised at all. But fuck, can I call Flutzy right now? I'll call Flutzy right now. Let's call Flutzy. Flutzy, Flutzy, what do you do? Flutzy, Flutzy, what do you do? Not looking good.
Please leave your message.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see if I can get Flutzy to check in at some point, and we can talk about all the times that, she used to reach out for me to Patrick and get her and I tickets for shows. And, I've stood outside the stand before when Patrick was still in New York and have talked to him one-on-one for more than a minute about shit. And he's always been a great guy and like, hey, Steve, how are you? So like, it's really funny. I guess you could either take Ray's word for this or mine. And, yeah, I don't know. It's just one of those Twilight Zone Mandela effect things. Either I never lived my life in my history and have known this guy, or what Ray is saying is true. I mean, I guess that's how that's going to work, So it's really very provable that I am, very much aware and
Now, maybe
friendly.
if he saw Stevie, he would say a different thing. But
Yeah, I would say a different thing, right?
he's like, what's going on? Like when he was asking me, like, why did Kevin call him? What's this all about? And I to explain.
So I'm curious, did Ray go ahead and make that call himself? This is really crucial right now. If Ray went out of his way to call Patrick on his own after that bullshit call, where if you go back to that MLC episode, Patrick was on the phone laughing, having a good time about it, didn't give a shit about it, and also said that Ray's not a past comedian at the stand, that same phone call that we're talking about, just to make sure that's clear. Yeah, so I am just going to have to say that's bullshit, Ray. You're lying, or you didn't represent that properly. That's all.
Explain to him, and I mentioned Stevie, and he had no idea who the hell Stevie Lou is. That's what I was saying. Like, again, that was weird as fuck yesterday when he put up that tweet about domestic abuse.
Yep.
And
so this is basically now, this has become, I'm sorry, I didn't have that up. Shit. Flutzy messaged me. She's working. Okay, sorry. Have a question for you. I'll call ya tomorrow. Hope all is good. Good old Flutzy. What an awesome person. The flute definitely hit me back up on text and said she can't talk right now. She's on text. She's at work. But Flutzy would very much be able to come on air and help clear this up a little bit. How, she and I used to go to the stand, the old stand, just to see shows. That's all, because she and I worked on the Eastside Dave show together. Eastside Dave used to record Tuesday night on Compound, and they used to do the roast battle on Tuesday night as well. So it used to be funny. It was Eastside Dave, and then Legion of Skanks would go on Compound Media right after Eastside Dave in the beginning. Flutzy and I and Dave and the gang would hang out while Legion of Skanks was going on. As a matter of fact, you can watch a bunch of Legion of Skank episodes from Compound, and you'll see me sometimes drunk in the background getting yelled at and shit by the Skanks, because sometimes I'd be fucking horsing around and they weren't fans of that. But afterwards, they'd invite Flutzy and I over to the stand to watch their shows, and we'd sit in the fucking VIP box. We'd go in the back. I used to go into that back area at the old stand and fucking blaze it up, because that was the spot to do that. So all this shit that, like, oh, they don't know me at the stand is such complete horseshit. And I get it. I'm not a performing comedian at the stand. If that's what he's trying to insinuate, that's true. So,
and for whatever reason, tagged me in the tweet.
And again, okay, sorry. What I was trying to say is that this has now become like Ray is pulling a Stuttering John here. Ray is doing the same thing that Stuttering John did with this mom's box controversy that I've created with him. John misinterpreted all this shit, and he took it to mean something completely different, and is now using that as a reason to attack me. Just like Ray is using that dumb tweet that I used yesterday as a reason to start bringing up the stand yesterday. So he's doing this right here. He's admitting to it, that it went from that dumb tweet to then he brought up the whole stand thing again yesterday, and now I'm forced to respond. So I don't know if he can logically understand that, but I hope he can. And if he can't, maybe someone else can explain that to him more simply. Sorry, fuck, damn it. So
somehow knew what the fuck he was talking about. That was weird as shit. That was confusing as hell. I did not know that was a repost of a Joey C tweet. I don't know, because like the one time I was on MLC and Stevie made up a bunch of just not things that made sense, not about me. And he's like, you deny this? And it's like, I have no clue what you're talking about.
I don't know what he's talking about right now. Can anybody help clear up what he's talking about right now? Because I went on MLC and said a bunch of what?
How am I supposed to deny or whatever? And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, again, I do this.
If he's talking about the 5150 thing, hey, I saw a document that's out there about something that happened, and I'll leave it at that. Won't say another thing about it. That was wrong of me to even mention.
And I write jokes. So yeah, if Stevie's out of my life, then Stevie's out of my life. I don't give a fuck. But so he's doing a show about.
You gotta get out of my life. You get a little bit more. Let me tell you, babe. Set you free, why don't you, Ray? Get out my life, why don't you, Ray? Whoa, whoa, cause you don't even love me. You just keep me hanging on. Thank you.
About you can quad call mental midget tossing. Maybe he's not your beloved chatter. Like text me what exactly you're talking about. I'd like to get it, but
Chatter.
yeah, that's
Beloved chatter. Did you text him?
yeah, that's fine.
Did you-
He doesn't have to be my friend.
Did you text him?
Yes. I have no idea what. Like I said, like I don't follow all this stuff. Like I'm in a weird place, man. Just
Beloved chatter.
like I'm living.
Did you
in the
text
middle
him
of
and tell
Ohio,
him
in the middle of nowhere
what this was?
I don't really have, like the closest town to me. If I wanted, like, it's like Medina, Ohio.
Oh, now he's going for the sympathy.
Nobody.
No, he's going for the sympathy card. He lives in the middle of
nobody,
nowhere.
like that's the closest.
Look, now he's freaking out, looking at his YouTube, trying to figure out if I'm online. I don't know what's going on.
Wow. All right. I just got a text from.
Oh no, he got a text from Chatter.
Stevie is sniping you and talking shit about you. Quad's not on it. Yep. All right. Well, Stevie's welcome to.
To what?
Hi, Stevie.
Hello, Ray. Yes. This is weird.
Yep.
Okay. And?
Wow. Unbelievable.
I
dude.
know.
All right.
It is.
Well, you're welcome to Roast Battle Me Wednesday.
Great.
And
I'll be there.
I'm going to roast you and
Okay.
John.
Okay.
Again, this is not about, we can do it like comedy diss tracks. You can come back at me.
That's fine.
The next day. If
I'm
you
down with that. That's how it works. No, we'll be there. I'll be there. So
yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Wow, dude. All right.
Yeah, I know.
Hi, Stevie. I'll say roast jokes. I'll do it on my show. I'm not roast battling him. Now that he's doing this stuff, it's like, yeah. See you later, buddy.
Ray, no, come back.
Good luck.
Oh, I need it from you.
Yeah.
Please, no, don't leave.
To your marriage as much as you're paying attention to me. Maybe she wouldn't be divorcing you.
There he goes. That's his line.
So
that's roast joke 1.
You can deal with that shit. Yeah,
I can deal with it, Ray.
Carry that weight.
I can deal with it. I can carry that weight, Ray.
I just gotta cut out toxic people in my life.
Oh, I'm a toxic.
Like I said,
yeah. He doesn't have to cut drinking out of his life. He has to cut Stevie Lou out of his life. So looks like he's picked up a pen already and wants to talk about my, marital situation. A guy that's never had, he admitted the other day to Joey C, the Reverend Joey C got him to admit that he's never had a meaningful relationship in his life. 50 years old. He's never had a single meaningful relationship in his life. I know my marriage is a little testy right now, but me and my wife are working on things, and you know what? We're actually doing okay, and I'm actually proud of myself and where I am right now with her, because I do deeply, deeply love that woman, and I always will. And we're working on stuff. Everything's different for everybody, and I'll leave it at that because I don't want to bring up this shit. But you know what? If he wants to start making fun of it and he wants to start going after it, I promise I won't rage back. I'll just slam him back with what I got, and I'm not going to go after his 5150 and his sisters. I'll just fucking hammer him with shit about him. And I won't use these little bullshit excuses. Well, I'm not really talking about you when I say that about your marriage, about your wife. I'm just talking about you. Whatever. He's fucking up his own ass. Up your ass, Ray. So
yeah, it's weird. Like being in the middle of the boondocks of Ohio, there's I don't have people I hang out with. I don't like. I'm not around like other comics.
You do that to
Which is
yourself,
like,
buddy. Like
if
I don't know what the
Obnoxious
fuck to
John
tell
is
you,
around,
man.
like Obnoxious John lives in
No
Cleveland.
one told you to move into your fucking.
And I was like, I try to hang out with him from time to time, and he's like, could never hang out with me. And it's like, all right, dude, I just like he wants to do some projects with me or whatever. And I was like, all right, let's workshop some stuff. When can you hang? And then he was like,
I love OJ for oh, God, Jesus Christ, Gummy Chainsaw. I fucking should have known you're gonna do your work, aren't you? I love everybody. Check out Gummy Chainsaw. He is a king amongst kings. He's playing the sympathy card. I love that stealth. Yeah, it looks like this was a fun time when he and I started conversing. I'm being a little sensitive. High noon in the town square. Do I have? I thought I. Oh no. Okay. I got Rio Bravo. So and it's still sealed too. Check that out. But yeah, I got Rio Bravo. I don't have showdown at the I don't have High Noon on hand, but I got that. So maybe I'll watch that. I'm gonna watch Rio Bravo before our roast battle. The looming presence of a treadmill is powerful. And you see how he spelled looming. That's art right there. I'll say roast jokes. Patrick Bateman. I'm gonna say roast jokes. It's gonna be like a rap battle. Yes, right. That's what roasts are. Thank you for clearing that up. Stevie burning bridges with everyone. I don't really see it that much like that. Again, I don't think I've really burned a bridge with the BYB. We've just have creative differences. And honestly, I was getting told by a lot of people that I should do my own thing and, not necessarily leave them behind, but move on. Call it leave them behind, call it move on. Like they're doing beautiful things over there at BYB. And I love those guys. And, even though shit got weird with, relationships, I think there could be some time soon or whatever, maybe not soon, that I could get back on with the BYB gang to talk shit. I just, I hope that they can be a little more upfront about things if they want to. And I don't even think we really need to talk much, but I did feel the need to respond to Quad's presence on Ray's show there. And again, I did call Quad. I was a little fired up when I called him, but he is a very level-headed guy, and he let me say my piece and said his piece as well, and we didn't freak out at each other. He kind of let me, like I said, say what I had to say, and we left it at that. So shout out to the BYB peeps. Okay. Oh, snap. Yeah, I'm catching up on the chat here. I guess this was when me and Ray were doing our thing there. Not a good showing for Ray. Having friends is GAY. Okay, doing okay. You live in 2 cities. Yeah, I mean, he's like a fucking nomad. He's a nomad comedian. Good luck, Stevie, for real. You seem like a good human. Thank you, Patrick Bateman. You seem like a good human, too, until you do those things to those women and the homeless guy. What's 5150? Don't even look. Google it. Don't hide your disappointment, Stevie. Silo Cyborg. How could I be disappointed when I have a person named Silo Cyborg chatting with me right now? I'm like fucking pumped about that. Okay. Yeah, listen. Ray gets confused so easily. Raven Carradine. Holy Christ. Oh, the legend continues. Kung Fu. Can you get Dabble Storian on? Yeah, I don't see why not. Maybe not tonight, but I could get Dabble on. Okay, we're not going to go over that stuff too much. Okay, we're not going to go. What is the back of your t-shirt? It doesn't say anything. The front just says, "Go ahead and call the cops." Nothing on the back. I say go see live music whenever you can. Well, if anything, this is a first-class ticket back to MLC. Let's do film talk and show Stevie. That would be fun for real. Yeah, I did a little bit of film talk in the beginning. If you folks checked in late, you could go back and listen. I did go see the new Coen brother film. I'm going to go see Tenet this weekend. There's a bunch of shit coming out that looks great over the next 2 months. So I'm planning on going to see as many movies as I can in the theater, and I'll come back and I'll respond and we can talk. And I'm also seeing a lot of old stuff too. So I want to do a thing where I kind of like talk about an older movie, some other older movies, and then also the newer stuff. But let's get back to Raymond.
He never gets back. So yeah, so that's one thing. That's one fun thing about New York City. It's just hanging out with other comics and like just like bullshitting stuff. Like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I'm long for this Dabbleverse stuff. I really am not. And yeah, Stevie.
Yeah, I mean, he's not wrong. There is an alluring, boys town sort of thing that happens in New York City comedy, when you're out running around chasing mics, chasing shows, going down to McDougal Street, hanging out, the Village Underground, the Grizzly Pear, whatever, there is a whole thing to it, but it's like a fucking stunted development. It's a stunted development. It keeps you in fantasy land, and it's fun, but I think he's stuck.
Obviously, hi, Stevie. Roast me Wednesday. What are you so scared of? This is what you want so bad, is to roast me. Show up at noon Wednesday. Go ahead, roast me. You can say whatever the fuck you want about me. I don't give a shit.
I don't know why he keeps repeating
Ball's
that.
in your court,
I'm saying yes. I guess he can't hear me.
Show up Wednesday and roast me.
The ball's in my court now.
All
right. Well,
I'll
shoot the ball.
Wow.
He's so freaking out about the whole
trying to use me as your stepping stone or whatever. Like, for what? This is.
Yep.
This is gay. This is gay. Yeah, I'm sorry that. Yeah, when you were trying to talk shit about me, the booker had no idea who the hell you were. I tried to explain to him who you were, and he's like, I don't know. Like,
yeah, I'm sure you did.
He had
right?
no idea who you were.
Sure, you did.
Maybe
Right?
if he saw you, he'd be like, oh yeah, maybe I know that guy. But
okay, now all of a sudden, you see how the story's changing.
He had no idea.
And now all of a sudden, he's giving himself an out. I like that. I think maybe he got wind that I do know the folks over there, and that he was lying. So
who you were, and yeah, don't. Yeah, that's not cool, dude. Don't piss where I got it. We're kind of fucking.
Again, it looks like he made the phone call himself, so he did the pissing, not me. There's no way that Patrick from the stand called Ray himself the next day after the podcast. I'm telling you, it's not how that guy operates. I don't know him that well, but like, let's be real, folks. Like, do some detective work. That's not how this guy operates. He could give a fuck less if you heard how the phone call went. He was laughing, So I don't know where he's coming up with this whole thing that I'm pissing where he fucking works, because he gets barely $50 out of this place a month. So I don't understand the logic that he's going with.
Repairing your marriage. If like that's what you want to do, why are you fucking so focused on me? You got a marriage that is not working out, obviously. You let the whole world know about it. You fucking will tell the whole world about how your marriage isn't working out, but instead of focusing on.
Yeah, I did let some folks know about the real life situation. And that was probably a mistake at the end of the day. I probably should have never, ever said nothing about that back in October. But I want to make sure this is very clear. And you can go back and watch this. The day that I said that I was going through some stuff back in October, if I recall exactly, on that episode, Gustav had said that he had an open apartment in the neighborhood, one neighborhood over from me. And at the time, and still right now, I'm looking for a new place. So I did open my mouth that day to really, like, I'm legitimately saying this is not a work. I was thinking, holy shit, maybe I could fucking get in a new spot that would work for me. So yeah, I was forced to say why I needed a new place. Just to be honest, I'm not a guy that really lies too much. And sure, I brought it up that time, but here's the reality. I don't go running around talking about the wife stuff all the time. It does come up because it was brought up. The super chatters bring it up. Sure, I can't stop that. But you don't hear me really running my mouth about the whole situation. All I've said is that we're split right now from where we're living, and we're going and seeing each other like now at this point multiple times a week and staying like in like very good loving contact with each other. So, that's what that is. And that's all I've said. And I don't bring up other shit about her. I don't bring up other shit about the situation. I don't really bring up shit about me in the situation neither. I just kind of leave it vague and at that, because that's all I really should have to do if I had to even do anything. And honestly, me saying shit right now is probably too much. So
On that,
whatever.
you're just sitting around waiting to podcast every 5 minutes. So get your own shit worked
Yeah,
out.
the guy that fucking
yeah,
goes live, see you live, punks. The guy living in his fucking godparents' basement, living in fucking Ray Gootz's attic, is telling me that I got to get my life together. Holy shit, Ray. Like, look in a fucking mirror. Is there a mirror on that treadmill on the other side, man? Because, like, you got to get with reality, dude, that you're going to come at me like this. It's so easy to return it right back to you, bud. So fucking let's go.
get your own life worked out and focus on that. So yeah, I guess he's not my friend, dude. I sent him the link if you wanted to jump on, but yeah, I'm just gonna roast him Wednesday, and then he can do whatever the hell.
That's another thing too, man. I'm pretty sure Ray has told all these stories before in the past on his podcast. And now it's like if that shit gets used against him, it's going to be a problem. But now the shit that I've said is going to be used against me. That's like it's all, I guess, fair game now. And but I'm not going to use that shit that the sisters brought, like all that whole shit. I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to fucking hit him with some reality checks with humor involved.
So Wednesday at noon.
It's next Wednesday.
Roasting him and Stuttering John. And again, I'm sending both of them the link. It'll be fun. If they want to jump on and do it with me, then great. If they don't want to do it with me, okay. But yeah.
Is this fucking true? Ray took the song Hunger Strike by Temple of the Dog too serious. Lambda, lambda, lambda. That's wild. I actually saw Temple of the Dog live. They played Madison Square Garden back in like 2016, 2015, 2017, something like that. It was a crazy show. Ray does nothing but lie and get everything wrong. Whenever you bring up any truth or reality into it, he gets angry and dismissive. Peter Sky Parker. Yeah, that's really true, man. What he does is he like takes you off the stream if you start to like confront him with reality. Kevin Brennan was going to have you on every day after you told about your marriage problems. Yeah, lambda, lambda, lambda. Like that ended up being like a crazy episode that I ended up opening up about that, and it was actually like a good moment for me personally, because I was like really not taking things that well. And after that day, I literally had some like personal changes in my attitude that I was able to like overcome and make happen that I think helped a lot. So as fucked up as the things that have come out of this are, the downsides to it, there was a lot of good that came out of me saying stuff like that and being open about my issues, unlike other people who run from them, So yeah, I think if you go back, KB did pull it out of me, you know, and I was like in a tough spot where I just felt I needed to say what it was. Talking some music here. I don't want to ever give Chad credit, Teddy. Yeah, people are agreeing with me here. All right. Stop it. All right. I actually got to take a pee real quick. So can you guys just hang with me for a second while I go do that? Let's put this up. Just give me 1 sec. I'll be right back. All right. Sorry about that. I had to go pee. Thank you for sticking with me. I was 2.5 hours in. Sorry, folks. I drank some coffee. Drink some coffee at night. It's almost 11:30. You know, it's caramel time. And yes, I washed my hands. Terry knee. I was always worried about my hands. I washed them. Okay, we'll get back to Ray. Pop a caramel. Oh, yep. There we go. Let's catch up with the chat real quick. Where do we start off? Where did I leave? Here we go. Ray stinks. It's a good place to start back up.
Beloved chatter, you don't have to explain nothing to nobody. Well, thank you, beloved chatter. Thank you, beloved chatter. Also, that kind of upset me because I did text beloved chatter. I did talk to him. Because I knew he was going to be in Atlantic City a night before I was, and I knew Tracy and Hannah were there, and I was like, "Hey, man, just kind of look out for them, like,
Yeah, that came out today on MLC. Beloved chatter, who was a wonderful guy. I met in AC myself. I didn't get to hang out with him for very long because I was ball washing Stuttering John. That's true. But we did have a nice short conversation. He was very, very cool guy. And we've chatted bullshitted before on DM and stuff like that. He was actually gave me a lot of like good words of encouragement and even some advice before my boxing match, because apparently he has been boxing since he was a kid, and he looks like the kind of guy who probably has been doing that and would beat the shit out of someone like me. So hello, beloved. But what was I gonna say there? Yeah, I guess Ray, it came out today, since Tracy was in Atlantic City, Tracy Carnazzo opening for Hannah Burner. They were gonna come stop by the bar, and Ray told beloved chatter to say something good about Ray to Hannah Burner if she showed up, to put in a good word about Ray for Hannah Burner, because he was looking to somehow maybe glom on to the whole Burner thing. And now
they might show up there.
Now he's like trying to cover that up with Tracy's some bullshit.
Great. The only thing that was upset me, like I listened to like some of the podcasts, after I jumped off, and she said I called her 7 times. Come on, Tracy. Come on.
Wow. Jesus Christ. So Ray called Tracy like 7 times. For what reason? I don't know. It's fucking weirdo Ray.
I don't call you 7. I mean, maybe like 3 or 4 times. So I'm
It's
like,
too
what's
many.
up?
It's too many,
up?
Ray.
And she didn't take my call. That's yeah. It was like, all right, what's up? What's going on? I was like, nothing. Why are you not taking my fucking calls? I'm trying to do some shit. But yeah, that's what it is. Wow, Helix driver, Chad. Chad. Yeah, thank you, Helix. Yeah, Chad's got issues. Whatever the fuck is going on in
at least
Chad's head.
Ray's getting hooked up
I
there.
don't
That's
know,
a good
dude.
move.
Like,
Thank you, Helix driver, for
he's a
hitting Ray
fine
off. I'm
comic for Middle
glad
America.
to see Ray
He's never
getting-
done well in New York City.
getting a good
He knows.
splash there.
I mean, he knows that. He was on my shows. He knows that. Like, go listen to his act. Go watch him on Kevin Brennan's roast. Like, yeah, it's fine.
Talking about
Go
Chad
watch his
right
Dry
now.
Bar special. You know, him like making fun of me.
Sorry,
for going
Peter.
at,
We're
like,
going to be
that's what
playing
you have
Disco
to do,
Biscuits on
Chad.
this channel.
You have, like,
I did just take a pee. Thank you.
I mean, I'll come up with new jokes that are so raw. Like, you gotta try them out.
Could
You
get
can't
some
just polish
diapers.
them. And be like, oh, I'm
All
getting
right.
paid, and I won't do these shows. Like, no, dude, you gotta fucking try the jokes out.
See if
To not
Ray-
try the jokes out, you're a fucking idiot. I don't know, man. Like I said, Chad just got lucky that he got that radio gig and thought he was a big deal. And like I said, he was popular in Cleveland, but like he never really.
No reality in
comics were nice
Ray's
to him because, like,
logic.
they were on his radio show and stuff. Speaking of which, the guy that took Chad's job, Bill Squire, is opening up for me at the Winchester in May. Winchester, it's a big music venue in Cleveland, Ohio. So I need I'll put those tickets.
JM, Ray's going to have a
Cleveland, Ohio, doing the
stroke
Winchester
from
with
the
Bill Squire,
downverse.
the guy
Let
who
me
took
turn
Chad's
this down,
job.
too.
Yeah, when Chad was fired. So I will be promoting it on Chad's old show on the Alan Cox show.
That was too much. Sorry.
Hi, Chad's
Probably
lawyer.
freak some people out.
I will be on Chad's old radio station promoting my show at the Winchester. Remember the Winchester, Chad? You used to open it for me.
Okay. Stevie, have you ever had a real conversation with Ray? Is he capable of listening and responding to what was just said to him? I don't think so. Yeah, Peter PSP. I had. And what's up, buddy? Good to meet you in AC, buddy. Yeah, Ray. I've hung with Ray, man. One time I met up with Ray one night in Astoria during the summer. It was like early summer. It was a nice night. We grabbed like a bunch of fucking 24-ounce beers and sat on some random person's stoop and drank and talked. And like I did feel like he was able to, connect at some level. And it wasn't like you see on these shows. There's something about the technology that I think creates an extra block for Ray, especially when he's in charge of his own show, man. Like he really has a major fucking ego trip when he's running his own rock bottom show, where if you start to like go against him or counter anything he says, he'll literally shut down, kick you off or whatever, or bitch out and shit like that. So he don't do that too much in real life, but also I haven't always seen Ray plugged in when he's in person too. There have been times where I've been out, not just with me and Ray, more in like a social setting where he does come off as a little fucking just oddball. And he's Ray, man, and a lot of people just kind of put up with it. And like this whole thing where he doesn't want to be my friend anymore. It's like, oh God, man, I'm a fucking 41-year-old man. Like, was I ever really a fucking friend of this guy? I did try to look out for him. I definitely did try to look out for him. And honestly, I still will. I'm not going to like completely fucking spite this guy because I would look like a fucking clown if I took any of this bullshit serious like he is. So I will take the roast seriously. That's for damn sure, man. I will not fucking be bullshitting there. But good question, PSP. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, him and Tracy go back. They have he does have a working relationship with a lot of folks just by having done some shows with them. And you know what? I have a working relationship with a lot of comedians from just doing shows with them that I could try to exploit and use to my advantage all the time like he does. And I think that's kind of like not the way to do it, and that may sound a little spiteful and mean, but it is what it is. I do have a bunch of guys in my Rolodex who I can hit up through my comedy career, Tracy is a great guest on MLC. I used to like Sue, even though she fucking went cuckoo bananas. She went all Westworld on us like a broken robot. But yeah, Tracy's great. Got nothing but love for Tracy. I don't know Tracy at all. She don't know me neither. I know she's even said that, like, who the fuck is Stevie Lou, which I think is hilarious. Because I'm not, a well-known New York City comedian, but I did get, enough time out there that, a lot of folks in the scene are aware of me, and I don't give, like, who gives a fuck if they aren't, I'm not sitting here saying, like, oh, I know this guy, I know that guy, I've done this and that. I've just said what I've done, and who I've worked with when necessary. I don't sit there and try to beat my chest. Okay, you guys are talking music. That's cool. I don't mind it. You guys do what you got to do. Stop clenching your fist, Stevie. Maybe I have been doing that. I don't know. I saw Ray and Stevie hanging at NYC. Ray pulled out his nasty taped up toe. I think that actually did happen. Lambda, Lambda, Lambda may actually have been in New York City. What happened to the Danny Warhols? Yeah, I'm sorry to Pat Dixon, too, for streaming during his time. Right now, I am just really in stream hour mode. I got to get my watch hours up a bunch. So I appreciate you folks who've stuck in all this time, and the folks who are watching in the future right now. That's kind of trippy if you think about it, actually. Well, okay. Yeah, you're welcome, PSP. That's the kind of thing I like to try to bring to the table, is some good insight. Yeah, shout out to Pat Dixon in his chat. As soon as I end, folks, please do go right over to Dixon and tell him I sent ya. All right, we're getting towards the end. We'll do maybe a little bit more Ray. Fucking almost getting up towards 3 hours. I might try to push it to 3 hour. Okay. You do you, Lou. JCB in SD. I love how Chad calls him JC Bin SD because he's dumb. And I will do me. I think I'm going to have a Gert, as we call him back in my day. And let's play some Ray. Let's get the super chat down. Or the super chat. Yeah, right. My ass.
Me at the Winchester. Remember those days? I never opened up for Ray. I was never, like, you used to open up for me. It's fine. I'm a funnier comic than you. That's the other thing, like the whole roast battle thing, because I like doing it on the MLC. It's a roast battle, and like I did it with Chad, and then everyone acted like I won it by like a lucky field goal at the end of the game. Like that also was like upsetting. It's like, I won by like 7 touchdowns. Like, why we got to pretend like this? And then everyone's like, oh, they're stolen jokes. And then even Carlos Danger's like, what do you say about these stolen jokes? And then he played the Comedy Central clips of jokes, and they were all jokes Chad said to me. There was not one joke.
Ray, we saw the roast battle clip on Nobody Likes Onions. You took jokes from other people off of YouTube. I don't understand now how all of a sudden you're trying to reverse engineer this, that didn't happen, but you did take some jokes off of YouTube, buddy. Like, he can't go back now and say that didn't happen. I'm sorry.
I said to Chad, it was all Tony Hitchcliffe jokes.
Yeah, Chad stole jokes too.
You did it.
You both stole jokes. That's what happened.
So that's another reason why, like, I don't need to be a show pony. So yeah, Stevie Lou's invited to do the thing with me if he wants to.
Dude, this is horseshit too. I'm invited. Dude, Kevin Brennan was screaming, we have to do a roast battle between you and Stevie, and Ray was going, no, I won't do it. Just a few days ago. What was that, Sunday night or Monday night? I think it was Sunday night. Ray was going, I'm not going to do a roast battle with Stevie Lou. I won't do it. And Kevin was screaming, Stuttering John thing is stupid. You and Stevie need to roast. And now it took some scary tweet to get things started, and he's finally come around. So that's good, Ray. That's fucking good. That's great.
next Wednesday.
I'm invited now.
And he can say whatever the fuck he wants to about me. I'll do 2-on-1. I'll roast Stuttering John and Stevie Lou at the same time. I don't give a shit. But yeah, I'm just doing it for the love of the fucking jokes.
Stuttering John has
and the
nothing
love
to
of the
do with
game
this
and the
shit.
love of the craft. A roast jokes. It's nothing malicious. I mean, I'm going to be mean and dark with jokes, but I'm doing it in just like a roasting. Be mean and vicious at me. I don't give a shit.
It's going to happen,
you know?
Ray.
Instead of roasting me, Chad was like roasting E-Rock at Compound Media. Like that was his thing. He was doing it for Kevin. And then people had to try to act like it was like a close roast battle. Like, I don't know. This one can go either way. I don't know how it's going. This one's pretty. This one's pretty up in the air. I don't know. It's like that's what also pissed me. If you rewatch that roast, people acting like it was close, really like upset me. Like really upset me because it wasn't.
What is this?
It's like a fucking. It was a manslaughter. It was pretty brutal. And even Chad thinking it was close was like insane. It's like if I got my ass kicked in a roast, I would know.
That's Ray.
I'd be self-aware enough to know that I got fucking my ass handed to me. And the fact his hand was like, remember he started doing those cards like Ray sucks, Ray says, and at first he put them up with
Mark
confidence.
Lender. If that was
like,
me, please let me know. I don't fucking.
And then once he saw I was killing and my jokes were going better than his, he's like, first started out like.
Once I'm off, they'll go right to bed. Or what is he doing? Jesus Christ. What the fuck?
And they just put the cards away. So fuck you, Chad. You suck, dude.
That was his Chad.
Yeah, everyone knows.
Hold on, let's go back.
And even Chad thinking it was close was like insane. It's like if I got my ass kicked in a roast, I would know it. I'd be self-aware enough to know that I got fucking my ass handed to me. And the fact his hand was like, remember he started doing those cards like Ray sucks, Ray says, and at first he put them up with confidence. He was just like, and then once he saw I was killing, my jokes was going better than his.
I can't. All right, oh my God, what have I done? What have I done?
First started out like,
right. That was kind of evil. Not gonna lie, that was kind of evil. Thank you, Lambda.
and they just put the cards away.
I kind of love it.
Chad. You suck, dude.
I kind of love it.
I'm sorry. You stink at comedy.
I'm sure that won't get clipped. Sure that won't get clipped.
It's fine. Good. Thank you for the years you opened up for me. Go
yeah, I felt bad. That sounds like what he's going to be sounding like in just a few
nervous
years.
Nelly fucking handshaking.
Terrible
bitch.
About this.
The same way remember, same thing with the Kevin Brennan roast. At first, he was like all confidence, like what, and then he started bombing, and suddenly he's like,
okay,
like
I mean, I did think that did he get torched by 7 touchdowns though? You know, it was like 2 touchdowns. You got beat by 2-3 touchdowns, not 7. You know, Ray was not that much better. They were both fucking terrible. Ray couldn't get his jokes out cleanly. You know, he did hit with a bunch of hard ones that were kind of funny. But come on, dog. Yeah. So that's gonna. Oh yeah. Oh wait, no. That Hilux super chat's gonna fuck up. I think it'll still get clipped. All right, we'll settle with 4 touchdowns. That's fair. I feel Barry Ribs won his roast against Dixon and Chad once he gets. All right, everybody's got their own opinion out there. And I got my wheat cack. I'll do one more of those. It's getting late. The caramel is definitely starting to hit in. I'm digging it. What are you folks burning on out there? This is called Moroccan Peaches. And it is really tasty. You should check that shit out. Moroccan Peaches. Cold pressed rosin. Available at your local, I don't know even where you got this shit, but bada bing, bada boom. Let's see what Big Ol' Ray got.
Did the same thing in the roast battle with me. Go watch it on MLC. He was like shaking like a scared little kid, like a scared little baby boy. But you're right, Helix driver Chad does stink. That is very true. One Furious F. Ray, you're DeVitoing yourself. Great business mind. Tell them not to buy the album. What's got you porn? Thank you, dude. I would have said you don't have to buy the. If anybody wants it, hit me up on our Twitter message. I'll just send it to you. I'll just send it to you. I'm being like, because I'll be honest. One Furious F. I don't think I get any of that money. I don't. I don't. I was like through CD Baby. I don't know. I'll just give it to you. I'm sorry. I wish you would have. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Ray, your album was on CD Baby. As a member of NAMLA, when you CD Baby, you want to have sex with it. I should probably write that one down. Weed cock. Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, man. Ooh, yeah.
I just want to send it to you, like, because I don't think I really get that money on top of it. Like, I don't. I don't know where that money goes out in the ether, but yeah, I don't think it goes to me, if that makes sense. But thank you, man, for buying. Like, yeah, I'll just give it. I'll just give it to you if you see me. You know what sucks? I did have a DVD.
People want Barry Ribs.
But I never did like the
I could try
album
to
thing.
get
I
Ribs
don't have
on.
any more left, so I have no idea what my second album was. And it's so many jokes that I obviously don't do anymore.
Yeah.
It was called Center of Attention.
Yeah, the back-to-back Come On Mans with Ray was pretty crazy. That was not clearly that could not have been scripted, as I'm stream sniping just a few minutes behind, but that was fucking pretty spectacular. Probably should clip that and put it out, but
Apparently you can buy it on my website, and I went to buy one because I don't have it, and CD Exchange says this is no longer available because they sold out of it. And it's like, fuck, I'll never get to see. That's the same.
Yeah, listen, Peter Sky Parker, I don't want to fucking beat this dead horse here, but yeah, there was something weird going on with Ray and free drinks at the stand that night, and I'm kind of fucked up for having fucked that situation up and brought it up. I guess, yes, that one. If I did fuck up that situation for him by running my mouth a little bit, I did kind of feel a little bad about that. I will be clear that that's not like a cool move, but I didn't expect that shit to really go to the point where Kevin was going to call Patrick that day, neither, but shame on me for not realizing that was going to fucking get crazy. And it was great that it happened. Who gives a fuck, Ray? Jesus Christ, man. No, Ray did not get a spot on Jimmy Fallon. Yeah, Ray does try to patronize his audience that no one understands comedy or the situation when he's really the one that's blind. Agree 100. Did Ray lie to the bartender? I mean, like, no, what happened was Ray was walking up. Basically, this is how it goes. When you work a show, it's kind of an industry standard that you get at least one shift drink, sometimes two, but a lot of times it's just one complimentary drink from the place. Ray was hosting. So sometimes the hosts, since they're going up and down, you get a little bit more fucking leeway on the one drink thing. And what Ray would do is he'd fucking have his one drink, leave a tip, have his second drink, leave a tip, have his third drink, leave a tip, have his fourth drink, leave a tip, have his fifth drink, leave a tip, then hang out for a little later and probably get like a sixth drink out of it and leave a tip every time, And around that sixth drink at the end of the show, the fucking bartender made that fucking out loud statement. He didn't say it quietly to Ray to the side. He said it for everyone at the bar. There was a couple other comedians there. So this is where like it just gets so diluted, his version of the story versus, I guess my version of the story, if you want to call it that, which is really kind of like more reality based. But again, he said, she said, I guess, at the end of the day. But we had a good laugh about it when the bartender said that, because he was like, all the people that come through this fucking place and perform here, Ray DeVito is the only guy that has like some sort of unlimited drink policy. It's fucking wild. Like laughing about it. And I thought that was hilarious. And again, here we are. Yeah, I don't want to, save it for the roast. Yeah, shit don't add up. You're right, Peter. You are right. Yeah, Ray thinks he has a mustache too. That was kind of wild. I saw that the other day. He is correct. Chad is the worst.
Same thing with a lot of my Comedy Central Adam TV sketches. Like, I don't have them because like that website and that show doesn't exist anymore. So I don't even know where to get my old sketches. And there were some dope ones, dude. Yeah, there was some really good, funny. Remember the Tudors? I did a parody about the Tudors. I think a Jersey Shore one, because like Jersey Shore, when it like first came out, I had some fucking bangers. And like I have no idea how to ever see them.
Thank you.
I have no
Patrick.
clue how to fucking ever see
The
them.
Nambla joke was fire. I admit it.
I don't stink at writing.
Praise in Pat Dixon's chat. That's great.
I'm pretty good at fucking writing sketches and jokes. So yeah. So all right.
So what? He's going back on
Mr. Rapey, Mr. Ray.
I don't
Exactly.
even know, man. I'm going
what
to bed
impact
soon.
does Stevie tweets about the Stand and Joey C have on your rising comedy career? Ray, speak. What fires did you have to put out? It was the day when that all went down on MLC. I had to like, yeah. And then him mentioning like other comics and stuff. Like it's fine, dude. He can go on, live his own life. I'm going to roast him. He's welcome to like roast battle me Wednesday as well. But yeah, like, I mean, I know this is like not a bit, but like I am one of the few comics in this Dalverse.
You keep saying the same thing. You keep saying the same thing.
I mean, it's not. I do enjoy performing stand-up comedy. I like doing it, but I also kind of have to.
Over him saying this shit.
I have.
No, you don't, Ray. You don't have to keep doing comedy, buddy. I'm glad you're still doing. You have it, but you don't need to.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean. Like, I this is what I have to do. So. That's what I did. But thank you, Mr. Ray. Mr. Ray.
I'm running out of steam here.
But yeah, even Kevin knows the fires I had to put out that day. Like I talked to Kevin that day.
Kevin was laughing about it on air today, and he was mocking him about how he was handling this. Kevin laughed in his face today, the way that he's handling these situations. It's ridiculous. I don't understand.
And yeah, I did have to put out fires, so. That is what happened. Whatever, man. Everyone.
All right, I'm running out of steam here. Let's just catch up with the chat.
Everyone can do that.
Get the fuck out of here. Yeah, exactly. Ray's spending money on chains and sneakers. What are you going to do? Ray versus everyone. Ray's being way too defensive, which tells us that he wasn't supposed to be getting all those free. Exactly. Whatever, man. I blew up his spot. This is not an insult. Ray could be a clown at children's parties. Yeah, man. Absolutely. Ray even lied about how much he tipped. He implied that those exaggerated tips could have paid for the beers if the bartender chose to do so. Yeah, exactly. I don't want to get into that. Okay, not going to talk about that. All right, folks. It's getting late, and I'm getting loud over here. I don't want to be a fucking bad neighbor. So I'm going to put on the rest of this Disco Biscuit show here for a few and just jam out to that. And fucking great to talk to you folks, man. This has been fun. I'm into it. We'll do more of this. Hit the subscribe button. Watch. Fucking do all that good stuff. And I will see you guys. Who knows? Maybe tomorrow. Maybe some other time. Stevie Lou out.
Come on, let's get down tonight. Come on, let's get down tonight. No little lady set aside. Come on, let's get down tonight. No little lady set aside. Come on, let's get down tonight. Give it up, give it up. Don't feel like you came from church. Doesn't matter if it's okay. If you lie and give it up, you won't show this life is mine. You ain't that check the groceries, not the little kids were in the house. Everything is starting, think we get a while, not in the trash. We'll go on and never let you go again. Can we say the one that you can't afford to stay? There's a road and you know it is. Can we say the one that you can't afford to stay?
Woo! Oh, here. Come on. Come on, let's get down tonight. No little lazy set aside.
Losing lots of God, there's no little awesome day. He's another name, it's all the comfort, you gotta play. Come on, let's get down tonight. No little business set aside.
Cause it was how it goes if you go again.
I won't say the one that you can't afford to stay. There's a road that you know it is. I wouldn't say the one that you can't afford.
All right, I'll spare you guys. That's enough of that. Good night.